Oh, good evening, one and all, and welcome to the live stream, the live watch along for Matchday 3 in the Australia Cup round of 16. This is the final trio of matches for the round of 16. It's been a pretty entertaining round so far. 3 huge games tonight. We've got 2 A-League teams in action in Perth Glory and Melbourne Victory. Melbourne Victory are away to NWS Spirit, while Perth Glory are taking on Queensland side Moreton City Excelsior, and then an all-NPL Victoria matchup, Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United. We're going to be live for the whole night as we watch these 3 matches that are kicking off simultaneously. We're rocking the multi-screen setup, and would love for you guys to join the conversation tonight, and would love to get your thoughts throughout the next couple of hours as we find out who will be the final few teams heading to the quarterfinals. How are we feeling so far? We had Leanne jumping in a bit earlier, says, come on Oakleigh Cannons, and love it from Perth Glory Shorts. It was just simply no. Perth Glory, of course, coming up against Moreton City Excelsior tonight, which should be interesting. I mean, even though the 2 A-League sides have A-League opposition, the 2 A-League sides have NPL opposition in Moreton City Excelsior from Queensland, from Perth Glory, and NWS Spirit, who were the only remaining team from NPL New South Wales in the Australia Cup, which is pretty surprising. We had Apia Leichhardt knocked out in the last round, as well as Blacktown City. And now it's just NWS Spirit, who have a huge test against Melbourne Victory. They should be tricky tests. And then we've got Oakleigh Cannons Heidelberg United, which is probably the most highly anticipated round of 16 matchup heading into this round of Australia Cup matches. You just look at the rivalry that those 2 teams have. 3-0 win to Oakleigh Cannons early in the year, 1-1 draw as well this year. In the league, they met in the Doherty Cup final last year, where Oakleigh won 3-0 on that occasion as well. So tonight will be interesting. You've got Oakleigh Cannons, who defeated Sydney FC 3-1, and Heidelberg United also picking up a 3-1 scoreline against Central Coast Mariners. So they're both taking down A-League opposition, and would be super disappointed to end their cup run here. So that'll be an exciting game as well. So there's certainly lots to talk about throughout the rest of the night, that is for sure. G'day, Luke in the chat. Pumped for your night round, of course. Of course, very excited for your night round. And I'm very happy about the changes. I'm happy about the changes that have been made. Reducing it from 3 stadiums to 2, I think, is a good thing. I think we'll probably see more fans at the games. Makes it a bit easier to get to more games, I guess. Just a shorter trip, obviously, with it just being Leichhardt Oval and Allianz Stadium. So it should be good. Let me know in the chat who's heading to United Round. Is happening in November as well. That's the other big change, which was an interesting one, shifting it from January to November. It's like round 5 or something. It's super early on in the A-League men's season, and it'll be round 3, I think, for the A-League women's season. So it's pretty early on, but hey, we'll see how it goes. And look, it's a fresh thing, and I'm glad that it's just its second iteration United Round, and they're willing to make changes and try different things, see what works, and that's the thing with United Round. It's an interesting concept and an exciting one. And me, along with I think many other people, would love to see it sort of shifted around to various states, move it across the country. Doesn't just have to be one city the whole time. Because, if it was in Melbourne or Brisbane, for me, I'm from the Central Coast, I'd certainly travel around for that, that's for sure. Perth Glory Shots, good to see you in the chat as always. What game are you watching? I'm attempting to watch as much action as possible, but the 2 screens that I've got in front of me, I'll be tracking the 2 A-League teams. So we've got Perth Glory taking on Moreton City Excelsior, and then NWS Spirit taking on Melbourne Victory. So those are the 2 games I'm watching. But I do appreciate how in the broadcasting they do. I think the main game tonight is NWS Spirit taking on Melbourne Victory, and they cut to, whenever there's goals or something happening in the other games, they'll cut to those other games and show you that as well. All right. So let's talk about what we've seen so far in the round of 16, because it has continued in terms of the drama. It kicked off on the weekend. Newcastle Jets 3, Macarthur 4. It was the only all A-League matchup in the round of 16. 3-4. Dude, this game was back and forth. Newcastle Jets were pretty solid in the first half, especially defensively. Mark Natter was playing in midfield and scored a fantastic goal. They were up 2-0 at halftime, the Jets. And then Macarthur FC was all about the Bulls in the second half. They were so impressive. 2 goals for Jermaine, and then 2 goals for Marin Jakalic, though. I think it was that first goal for Jakalic, an absolute screamer from outside the box. What a goal for Jakalic, scoring for his his new club at Macarthur. Of course, he was at Melbourne City last year. South Melbourne defeated Olympic in a game that took quite a long time to complete at the end. There were storms down in Melbourne, but a 3-2 win after extra time there. South Melbourne getting the win there. They progressed through to the quarterfinals. And again, looking at the bracket, they actually have a really clean run heading up. They've got Hume City coming up next. If they can overcome then it'll could potentially be Macarthur FC in the semis. We'll see. Last night, we had a few games as well. We saw Western Sydney Wanderers defeat the Lions 4-0. Hume City got over. That is FC Melbourne Serbia. There, these are numbers here and words coming from Google. So that's FC Melbourne Serbia. Hume City getting the win there. And then we had another A-League team in action, Adelaide United. Again, just cutting it a little bit close. It was the same scoreline that we saw in the round of 32 match for Adelaide. Another 3-2 scoreline, this time against Olympic Kingsway from WA. And then, of course, the 3 matches tonight. Oakleigh Heidelberg United in Victoria, an all NPL Victoria matchup. Moreton City Excelsior taking on Perth Glory. NWS Spirit taking on Melbourne Victory. Feel free to throw some predictions in the chat. How are you feeling ahead of tonight's matches? What are your predictions? What are your expectations? Let us know. And Marie in the chat, what do you reckon of Trent Sainsbury's signing? Fantastic. I mean, what a signing for the Mariners. It is the perfect signing. I feel like it is exactly the signing that Mariners needed to make to sort of stay in the conversation for as potential champions once again. And hey, if we did a three-peat, I mean, that would just be remarkable. Last season was incredible for the Mariners, obviously winning 3 trophies in one season. But if we can win 3 championships in a row, I mean, that would be absolutely huge. And Trent Sainsbury, I think, is going to help us go a long way to at least pushing for that 3rd consecutive championship. And you look at that back line now for the Mariners. I mean, even just the 2 central defenders, Brian Kaltak. Look, bias aside, I think for me, Brian Kaltak is I was going to say top defender in the league, at least top 3 defender in the league in terms of centre backs. And then you got someone like Trent Sainsbury, who has enormous experience playing at, a variety of levels across the world, but he's played at the top level, across Europe and Asia. And now back in the A-League, obviously he was part of the side that won the championship in 2013 for the Mariners. So excited to have Sainsbury back at the club, that's for sure. Leanne says, I want Oakleigh Cannons to win. Heidelberg United beat Mariners. Dude, they were good, weren't they? Defensively, so strong. Good to see Tay in the chat tonight. Tay says, Moreton City could come close. Yeah, man, interesting to see if we do get a cup set tonight. Where can I watch? You can watch all these games. For everyone in Australia, you can watch all these games on 10 Play. So you can watch for free, which is great. All the Australia Cup action is available and free to watch on 10 Play. And speaking of 10 Play and Channel 10, they announced there was a big announcement in regards to the Australia Cup, the Socceroos and the Matildas. They will be broadcasting those games for the next, I think it was 2028. Contract has been extended. Lucina, sorry, you missed your comment just a moment ago. If I can remember correctly, Unite Round has the Sydney Derby. Indeed, correct. Yeah, definitely going up the Wanderers. Side note, always enjoy your content, bro. Keep at it. Thank you very much, Lucina. Appreciate it. Yeah, Sydney Derby and Unite Round. That was another one of the interesting changes that they made to bring in. Well, not just the Sydney Derby, but they've got the F3 Derby as well. As a Mariners fan, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Something different. We'll see how it goes, eh? But yeah, the Friday night fixture to kick it off is the F3 Derby in the A-League men's competition. And then on the Sunday, we've got the A-League women's grand final rematch, Sydney FC, Melbourne City. So there's some huge matches in Unite Round. I don't mind it. How do you think the New Zealand derbies will go? Asks Perth Glory Shorts. I'm very excited for the New Zealand derbies, as I'm sure you guys are as well. It's great to have a new rivalry in the league. I think it'll be great. I think it'll be awesome. I'm excited for that first one. I think it's round 3. We get the first New Zealand derby to be played in Wellington. It's going to be great, man. And obviously the thing that's really heating it up is, obviously, as we all know, Auckland FC signing former Wellington goalkeeper Alex Paulson. I mean, that is just going to be, it's good. I tell you what, it's going to be really fascinating to see the reception that Alex Paulson receives his first game playing at Wellington, which is coming round 3. No, I mean, Wellington fans, love Alex Paulson. But now after this move, what's the feeling going to be, I'd like to think that'd still be, it'd still be pretty chill. Yeah. JJ Jurassic in the chat, asks, how do you think the Mariners will go this season? Looking at the squad, it should still be top six. Should still be playing finals football. Yes, huge losses in Max Ballard and Josh Innes, but some decent replacements. I thought Alfie McCalmont was actually really good in the Australia Cup match in the round of 32. Yes, the Mariners lost that, but it's always tricky to judge these teams. It's so early on a preseason for these A-League teams. Victor Feijão, the Brazilian winger, looked really lively as well in that first half in that game. And then, as I was talking about just before, I mean, Trent Sainsbury, what a signing for Mariners to really shore up things at the back. So I think if Mariners were to drop out of finals altogether, it'd be a huge disappointment. So full expectation that Mariners will be playing finals this year, I reckon. Justin in the chat, hello as well to you, Justin. Nisbet got a club finally. Thoughts? Great that he's got a club in Ross County in Scotland, but some people sort of skeptical in terms of the choice of club. I don't mind it. Look, he could use it as a springboard to people talking about he could play in Spain or the Netherlands or something like that, Germany. I'm sure. Look, it's tricky when just considering his height. That in reality, that's going to come into play when teams are considering signing Josh Nisbet. But look, he'll go to Ross County. I think he made his debut on the weekend off the bench as well. And look, hopefully he gets plenty of game time and attracts some interests from clubs, even bigger clubs across Europe. But great to see that he's got a club. Great to see you all tuning in tonight. Feel free to hit the like button to support the stream. Kickoff is just around the corner across these 3 games tonight. And you can consider sending through super chats if you want to support the channel here. This is, we were live on Sunday afternoon for the Jets-MacArthur game, which was certainly an entertaining watch along, that 4-3 win to MacArthur. And for me, I'm keeping an eye on the 2 A-League team games. And I'm sure they'll show us the updates across the Oakleigh Heidelberg United game. And if you're watching that game as well, feel free to throw some updates in the chat. This is sort of these watch-alongs are fun, man, when there's like multiple games going on, because it feels like, I don't know, like some in movies and like spy movies when there's like, or like like a space movie, if they're like sending a rocket to space and there's like the control room. I feel like we're the control room right now. Like me here and you guys in the live chat. We're working together just to soak in these 3 football games. So kickoff is about to get underway, at least in one of the games. I mean, the Perth Glory Morton City Excelsior game looks like it's just about to get underway. Let's have a quick chat about some lineups as well, because some team news regarding some of the sides, some changes for Perth Glory's lineup. We'll focus on the A-League teams. This coming from Google here, it probably won't be this formation. It probably will just be sort of the 4-4-2 that Perth Glory have been playing their last couple of games. Jacob Muir coming into defense, so Lockie Barr drops out. So it should be a back 4 with Risdon at right back, Gamulka and O'Neill in midfield. And then sort of the 4 attacking players for Perth will be Faisal and Bagaria as well, who's making his starting debut for Perth Glory, Carluccio and Taggart leading the line tonight for Perth Glory. I actually haven't had a look at Melbourne Victory's lineup. So this is my first reaction to Victory's lineup tonight. Let's have a look. Duncan starts in goals. Gary Hamill, Miranda and Boss. Tegan Valadon in midfield. Machash, Zani, Valupale. And here we go. It is a debut for Virgos, the Greek striker, I believe he is, if I'm not mistaken. So starting up top tonight for Victory. And we have kickoff, at least in one of the games. Morton City Excelsior and Perth Glory have kicked off, and the home team. Ooh, shot on goal within the first 13 seconds for Morton City Excelsior. So the first half is underway. Melbourne Victory and NWS Spirit about to kick off as well. We love the Australia Cup, don't we? What do you think of Douglas Costa? Biggest signing since Del Piero? It's up there, isn't it? I mean, he's up there as one of the biggest signings of all time in the A-League. There's probably a debate in terms of at least in Australia. Like, not talking about, how well known they are around the world, but just in Australia, I feel like more people would probably know the name Nanny. Just, he was at Manchester United for such a long time. So in terms of like names and how like household names, I think Nanny's probably behind Del Piero maybe, and then maybe Douglas Costa and sort of Daniel Sturridge sort of tied there as well. We've obviously had some incredible names feature in the A-League over the last couple of decades, haven't we? All right. Perth Glory have a corner early on here. Melbourne Victory and NW Spirit still haven't kicked off just yet. Glory outswinger to that near post, headed away. Big test tonight for Moreton City Excelsior. Got the win in the round of 32 through to the round of 16. One of, 3 Queensland teams in the round of 16, and the other 2 have already been knocked out. Perth Glory have scored within the first couple of minutes. How about that? It's Zach Lizalaski has scored for Glory. Lovely header. Where was the defending from Moreton City Excelsior? We've got our first goal of the night, and we're barely a couple minutes in. Perfect start for Perth Glory. They lead Moreton City Excelsior 1-0. The corner was delightful, and just the run just wasn't tracked. Gomorka with the outswinger. Lizalaski scores his first goal for Perth Glory. Young defender over from Western United. Playing at left back tonight once again for Glory. Great placement with a header as well. Had to sort of direct it to his left to get it past Moreton City Excelsior's goalkeeper. It's 1-0 to Perth Glory, barely a couple minutes in. We also are underway in the Melbourne Victory NWS Spirit game. That game being played at Christie Park in Sydney. Very warm day. Very warm day today. And if you're in the Sydney Central Coast area, if you like. Very warm day. Getting close to 30 degrees. Yeah, spring is well and truly arrived. So I'm keeping an eye on 2 out of 3 of the games tonight. If you're catching the Oakleigh Cannons Heidelberg United match, feel free to jump in the chat. Give us some updates as well. We stay across all this stuff. Appreciate that, Perth Glory Shorts. If we could just avoid any spamming in the chat, that would be great. Thanks, mate. Great to see you here in the chat as always. Spirit Tribe. Look at that. NWS Spirit. Another big occasion for them. They featured a few times in the final rounds of the Australia Cup. Nikos Virgos, striker tonight for Melbourne Victory. Interested to see how he goes. Here come Glory in the attack. Once again, Carluccio into the box. Teeing it up for Bulgaria. Faisal was probably offside. And the flag is up. So if you're just tuning in, only 5 minutes into this first half across these 3 games, and it's Perth Glory who already have a 1-goal lead. Zach Lizalaski with the header right in front of goal off a corner. Marcus, an interesting signing of Douglas Costa. Great play, but not exactly what we need right now. Interesting take there, Marcus. What positions do you feel like your Sydney FC need to fill at the moment? I mean, there's rumours that the link with the striker. I think Ufuk Tale in a recent interview said they're after a striker and a centre back. Which feels about right. Definitely a centre back, I think, is certainly up there as a priority for Sydney FC as well. Looking at the departure of Robert Mack, yes, they probably could have played, a youngster in sort of that left wing position, maybe like an Adrian Segicic. But I guess we can sort of look at Douglas Costa as a direct replacement for Robert Mack, who was obviously fantastic for Sydney over the 2 years that he was at the club. Every game but Perth. If you keep 10 play can be, to be fair, it can be a bit tricky to navigate. I find it a bit tricky sometimes. So you might have to do some scrolling to find it. But it is there. Yeah, right with you as well. Centre back and a striker. Dude, Sydney FC. Sydney FC. That could be a real team to watch this year. Signing of Douglas Costa, and if they can bring in a centre back, if they can bring in a good quality central defender and a striker, then they've got the ingredients, don't they? Here's a corner for NWS Spirit, who look to take an early lead here. Oh, and it's a save from Duncan. Needed to make the stop. Corner for the home team, and a little bit of moment of panic for Melbourne Victory. Melbourne Victory, of course, won the Australia Cup back in 2021. Haven't had much success since then. Going through the playoffs. Knocked out last year in the playoffs. You get the sense that Victory could be one of these A-League teams to make a solid run in the Cup. Of course, the two A-League teams in action tonight could potentially face each other in the quarterfinals as well. Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United still 0-0 in that game at the moment in the early stages. The winner of Oakleigh Cannons Heidelberg United will go on to face Macarthur FC, the Bulls, who defeated Newcastle on the weekend. Five minutes in to NWS Spirit and Melbourne Victory's game, still 0-0 in that game. The home side Spirit with a little opening, though, from a corner a moment ago. And Moreton City Excelsior have a set-piece opportunity right now. Opportunity to swing this in, find a header maybe. The delivery is okay. Headed up and away. Still there for Moreton City Excelsior, who try to force it through. Appeals for a handball. Perth Glory deal with it. Meanwhile, it looks like NWS Spirit controlling possession pretty well in the early stages in Sydney. 3 cities tonight for these 3 games. Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. According to the broadcast, it was 24 degrees Celsius up in Brisbane at kickoff tonight. I think it's about 20 degrees or so at the moment in Sydney. Had some pretty intense, heavy weather on the weekend in the South Melbourne game, did they? In Melbourne. Melbourne Victory looking to create their first attack of the game. They haven't really managed to get anything going just yet. So Nikos Virgos, a very interesting signing for Melbourne Victory. They did need to sign another striker. They only had Bruno Fornaroli there, and they've signed 2. Jing Reese is there, and Nikos Virgos as well. Perth Glory not happy with the referee's decision here. There was the foul's been awarded and a yellow card's been given, potentially asking for a red. Here's the replay. The replay doesn't quite show the challenge, but Carluccio was sent flying. Justin says bloody cold in Melbourne. There you go. I did see that, Marcus. Yeah, that's really sad for Gabriel Luceta. Obviously not at Sydney FC anymore. Was there last year. Oh, good chance for Glory. They've scored. Is that onside? It is. 2-0, and it's Jacob Muir. Dude, it's the defenders who are showing up for Glory, and they have a 2-goal lead. And potentially, I know it's very early, but maybe just one little toe in the quarterfinals. Jacob Muir. Well, they're showing the replays of that challenge. I'll tell you what, there's probably an argument for a red. The studs looked a little bit high. The delivery from O'Neill was fantastic. Again, just completely switching off the defending there. Moreton City Excelsior. O'Neill, perfectly weighted ball. And how easy is that for Jacob Muir? Right in the middle of the box too, right in front of the goalkeeper. How do the defenders not track him there? That was seems like a really basic sort of defensive, really basic defensive mistake. So it's 2-0 after 10 minutes in Queensland. Perth Glory with the lead. And it's the 2 defenders, Lizalewski and Muir, with the goals. Perth Glory look like they are well and truly controlling things at the moment in Queensland. Melbourne Victory, 8 minutes into their game. Yet to create a real crucial opportunity just yet. But Glory looking dangerous so far. I've been impressed with Perth Glory so far. Yes, they have been leaking goals in the couple of games they've played so far. In the playoff game, that was, 4-2 against Brisbane, and then 5-4 win against Melbourne City. And tonight, I think David Zrilic, the new head coach, will be super eager to just keep a clean sheet, come away with a clean sheet, get a solid win. If they can improve things in terms of their defensive structure, that'll set them on a good course for the upcoming A-League season, that's for sure. But 2-0, Perth Glory lead, Moreton City Excelsior. Shocking start for the home team down in Queensland. Marcus says Glory will finish top 4 based on recent form. Well, and another thing as well is that there's a handful of A-League teams who are still building their sides for the upcoming season. There's a handful of teams who still have been really quiet in the transfer window. You look at Western Sydney Wanderers, Wellington Phoenix, feel like still have to make a few more moves. Perth Glory were really busy really early on. Even at the end of last season, I think they announced Josh Risdon and Brandon O'Neill super early in the off-season. And dude, they're in behind again here. Here comes Abdullah Faisal, who already has 3 goals in the Australia Cup. Good claim by the Moreton City Excelsior keeper. So yeah, Marcus, this could be a big season ahead for Perth Glory under David Zrilic. Free kick here for Melbourne Victory, though, as they look to open the scoring here. Valadon whips it in. Still the pressure's on here for Victory. Trips on the ball. Spirit working it away in the end. Great play just a moment ago from Perth Glory, though. I mean, Bagaria, another one of these players. Bagaria and Faisal, these 2 players who have come over from NPL New South Wales, look like some really smart pieces of business to bring in those 2 players, give them a chance at an A-League club. I mean, I've been so impressed by Faisal. In that playoff game, he was fantastic, and then as he was as well in the round of 32 match against City. Already looking lively in the early stages in Queensland. All right, no one's really talking about Western United, says Leanne. Yeah, they haven't really. Well, they were pretty easily dismantled in the round of 32, weren't they? Sorry, not even that. The playoffs didn't even make it to the round of 32. Western United finished 11th in the A-League men's last season. Oh, here's a chance for Moreton City Excelsior. Great save Sale, but it's in. They got one back. The perfect response for the home team. Moreton City Excelsior. One back. Ollie Sale. How did he not keep that out? Oh, dude. And again, just not tracking the run. But Ollie Sale is going to be so disappointed with that. And Glory fans will know Ollie Sale has made some mistakes in his Perth Glory career so far. And that's a poor one. How does Sale not keep that ball out of the net? The run wasn't tracked initially. But Walters for Moreton City Excelsior. 15 minutes in. We've already got 3 goals in one game. And here we were harping up Perth Glory, 2 goals within the opening 10 minutes, and Moreton City Excelsior. Well, that is the ideal response for them, getting one back. No goals in the Oakleigh Heidelberg game yet, by the looks of things. Indeed. 15 minutes into the game there in Victoria, no goals there. Appreciate you guys tuning on for this big mega live stream. 3 games, simultaneous kickoffs. We love the Australia Cup. Melbourne Victory starting to control the game a little bit. Looking to create something now through Machash. A little give and go with Arzani was nice. Daniel Arzani wearing the number 7. He's changed to the number 7 in his second year at Melbourne Victory. Was wearing, I think he was wearing 19 last year, wasn't he? Justin says Perth's defense looking a bit dubious, to be honest. Moreton City sort of cruised in pretty easily, didn't they? I mean, the run wasn't tracked. Jacob Muir sort of had the play just fly past him, and then Ollie Sale. I mean, surely had to stop that. It looked like a save. Like when watching it, I was like, oh, Sale's made the save, but then he went in the back of the net. I was like, oh, what? Looks like a pretty routine save. So Melbourne Victory have a free kick in a really good spot here. It's Ryan Teague, another player who's changed numbers. He's wearing number 6 this year after wearing number 25. Key player in midfield for Victory once again this year with a left-footed free kick. Ooh, good placement on it, but not enough to challenge the Spirit goalkeeper. Starting to come a little bit closer to scoring the first goal of the game here, Melbourne Victory. They put 4 past Lambton Jaffers in the round of 32. And they are certainly starting to commit more numbers forward, Melbourne Victory. Dude, I tell you what, is Bruno Fornaroli on the bench tonight? Is Bruno on the bench? That's what I want to know. He is. Okay, Bruno is on the bench. Yeah, I mean, look at that bench for Melbourne Victory, man. I mean, speaking of like depth, like squad depth, Melbourne Victory are up there, dude. Adama Traore, Bruno Fornaroli, Fabian Monge, Joshy Rollins. I mean, as a backup right back, that's as good as it gets. Reno Piscopo's there. Graskowski's the backup goalkeeper. Jordan Huey. That's a solid bench there for Melbourne Victory. And I think I've got a few more players missing, don't they? A few players in there that aren't in the team sheet. Interesting is to see as well tonight for Melbourne Victory, Casey Boss starting at left back once again ahead of Adama Traore. Maybe Patrick Isnob going for that more youthful approach there. Justin says, I have a sinking feeling Victory and Sydney will be strong this season. I think they will. It's been a few years since we've seen sort of both teams sort of dominate at the top. But yeah, man, you look at the squads they're building and they should. Both teams should be in the top 4 as they were last year, weren't they? As they were last year. And in terms of the premiership, look, championship is obviously a different conversation, but just the premiership itself, those two teams are probably up there in terms of teams who could, really have a solid regular season and win the premiership, win the plate. Almost for Melbourne Victory. They are probing. They are looking for a way through Melbourne Victory. They are certainly starting to dominate things at NWS Spirit, despite Spirit making a pretty bright start to the game. Some nice passing from the home team too. Guerrier wins it though. Zinedine Machash driving forward for Victory. The give and go, but Velupale's pass is just lacking the accuracy. That's a good pass though. Perth Glory are on the attack here. Carluccio's delivery, almost an own goal. Good defending. Majika Dumni with a nice pass forward there. 3 simultaneous games tonight in the Australia Cup. Still 0-0 between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United. That game has extra time written all over it. Calling it now. Man. Melbourne Victory. This goal is coming for Victory. This goal is coming for Victory. The way that they are starting to play, get things going forward. Got another yellow card in the Moreton City Perth Glory game. Looks like it was awarded to Bulgaria. Awarded, if that's probably not the right word to use in terms of a yellow card. Velupale cutting it back. Again, good defending by Spirit. It'll be another corner for Melbourne Victory. Nikos Vorogos, yet to see him on the ball too much in this game. 15 minutes in. And WS Spirit, this is nervy moments for them at the moment as they're doing a lot of defending. Best YouTuber in the chat, hello. Says, you're going to keep an eye on the Perth Cup. I saw something about a bunch of WSL teams in Perth. I do know that one of the games is happening tonight. Not watching it tonight. Obviously, the Australia Cup action is the focus for me, at least tonight. But hey, great to see that there's a bunch of WSL teams over in Australia, in Perth at the moment. And of course, a bunch of Matilda stars in Perth at the moment with those teams. Of course, Mary Fowler here with Manchester City. Bunch of Matildas over here, which is always great to see with their club teams. We saw Arsenal. Arsenal's women's team came over a few months ago to take on the A-League Women's All-Stars. Remember, we did a big watch-along for that one. Some of you guys were there for that. Corner here for Moreton City Excelsior. They'd love to equalise it here. It's going to be a corner for the home team as well, as they look to chase the second goal. Ooh, victory. Oh my gosh, that would have been a great goal. Geordie Valadon for Melbourne Victory. That would have been incredible. The run and then the little chip. Oh, that would have been a remarkable goal. One of the goals of the cup so far from Geordie Valadon, just over the bar. Great intelligence from the little midfielder who was flying through into the box. Focusing on Moreton City Excelsior's corner here. Perth Glory, can they defend this? Flies over everyone. Swung back in. Deep delivery and a dangerous one. Sail punches. Perth Glory under pressure. Begaria gets the clearance. Excelsior coming in. That's a great break. It's 2-2. It's offside. Oh my goodness. They thought they had it. Dude, it's offside. But I tell you what, the game's barely 20 minutes in. Imagine if we've gone 2-2. We've had some crazy scorelines in the cup so far. 5-4, of course. Melbourne City and Perth Glory in the round of 32. We had 4-3 on the weekend between MacArthur FC and Newcastle Jets. Newy Jets in the chat. Hey, man, how's it going? Got some exciting news. Love it. Hope you're doing well, Newy Jets. Best YouTuber says, imagine an Adelaide versus Victory Australia Cup final. That would be good. However, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if they can play in the final, because I think if the draw, because the cool thing about the Australia Cup this year is that we do know the setup in terms of the bracket. We do know the path from here. So I don't know it off the top of my head, but I believe Adelaide and Victory, I think they could potentially play in a semi-final, if I'm not mistaken as well. And then the other one being, we do know that Adelaide and sorry, I've got a flying around. We do know that Adelaide and Wanderers are playing in the quarterfinals after they won their respective matches last night. Stephen in the chat, g'day. Stephen says South and Hume will be hectic between the supporters. We're getting a lot of like all Victorian matchups, hey, in the cup this year. It's great. Stephen, sorry, just missed your question a moment ago as well. Are Victory going all the way? Hey, they're capable. You look at the team on paper, they are capable. They are capable. In terms of squad depth, I mean, they're probably the best in the league in terms of depth. And should be right up there once again. Melbourne Victory, Patrick Isnorbo. That's one of the big talking points of this offseason. Former Melbourne City trophy-winning manager, Patrick Isnorbo. Not even was he a former head coach of Melbourne City, he was a former player. Now, taking the reins at Melbourne Victory. A couple games in, looks like he's doing pretty well so far. Glory have had some nervy moments in the last few minutes of the game. 25 minutes in. And Perth Glory lead Moreton City Excelsior. (2-1). 0-0 in the other games as well. Melbourne Victory yet to open the scoring against NWS Spirit. Spirit themselves have come close early on in the game. Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United so far 0-0 as well. Glory looking bright so far in attack. Melbourne Victory taking a bit more of a patient approach in this game tonight. Quarterfinals taking place in a few weeks' time. Those matches will be taking place between the 11th and 15th of September. Ooh. Bit of a heavy challenge there between Perth Glory and Moreton City Excelsior. There's been a bit of some heavy challenges flying in across the opening 25 minutes in that game. 23 minutes in, Melbourne Victory 0, NWS Spirit 0. We're keeping an eye on the two A-League teams tonight. As we've got the multi-screen set up in front of me tonight. Let me know in the chat, which game are you focusing on tonight? Are you rocking the multi-screen setup? You got the laptop, you got the TV, you got the phone. Keeping track of all the action. And I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Well, in a way, this stream acts as sort of an all-in-one to keep you updated to everything that's happening across all three games. And here's a chance for glory. Faisal is in, and it's a good save from the Moreton City Excelsior goalkeeper to deny Faisal a fourth goal in the Australia Cup so far this year. Great opportunity for glory once again. Boston in the chat. Hey, man, how good to see you here. NPL, New South Wales. I was thinking of NWS because, of course, they're playing tonight. New South Wales Elimination Finals. Yes, they are taking place tonight, aren't they? Approaching the end of seasons in across the NPL competitions across the country. How's it looking there so far? Boston, give us a score update, Matt. Loving the energy and enthusiasm from Moreton City Excelsior. They are up for this game. That goal from Walters earlier on, giving them a bit of life. Great. That's showing that replay of that Faisal chance a moment ago. That through ball from Magaria was delightful. Adam Magaria coming from the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy setup. Meanwhile, the Melbourne Victory Spirit game, looks like there's a couple of players being treated for what appears to be a head clash. They're showing the replay now, and indeed it was Machash getting a bit of a knock in the back of their head there. Hopefully those guys are all right. 28 minutes in, Perth Glory 2, Moreton City Excelsior 1. Leanne's watching Oakleigh versus Heidelberg. Leanne, give us an update. How's it looking so far? Which team is looking more likely at the moment to take the lead? Still 0-0 in that game. Appreciate the score update there, Boston. St. George City lead 1-0 against Blacktown City. Plenty of football on tonight across the country, hey? Good to see that Zinedine Machash and is okay after that little head clash a moment ago. Despite it being preseason, I mean, one of the great things about football, especially in Australia as well, let's come back. Oh, glory almost from the free kick. Is that there's still plenty going on despite it being A-League preseason. Obviously, we can't wait to have the A-League back. That goes without saying. And it's still just under 2 months away now, the A-League men's competition from kicking off. Look, we've got the Australia Cup. We've got, obviously the Matildas were in action in the Olympics a few weeks ago. Like a month ago now, wasn't it? It's a while ago. And then we've got Socceroos. Socceroos are back in action next week. We'll be doing plenty of sweet content surrounding the Socceroos. We're expecting the squad to be announced sometime soon, hopefully the coming days. I'd expect it to come out maybe tomorrow or Friday. We'll see. I don't know anything. But those games are taking place next week. Socceroos take on Bahrain on the Gold Coast Thursday next week. And then away to Indonesia the following Tuesday. So Socceroos will certainly be a big focus of the next month as well. We've got the young Matildas featuring at the Under-20 Women's World Cup. That is a big one for Australia as well. Here's a corner for Daniel Arzani and Victory. In swing, a dangerous. Good defensive header away. Leanne says, Heidelberg creating more chances. Appreciate that update there. Boston says, I'm watching Apia versus Sydney United 58. It's 0-0 after half time. Oh my gosh, we have a goal. It's 2-2, is it? Half an hour in, and Moreton City equalize. Incredible. No way, dude. No way. They've pulled it back. Cutting inside and the strike beating Ollie South the near post. What a goal. The home crowd go off. Moreton City Excelsior. It's 2-2. Perth Glory take a 2-goal lead within 10 minutes? 10 minutes? Half an hour in, and it is 2-2. The NPL Queensland side are matching it at the moment with A-League opposition Perth Glory, and what a way to do it too. That was a delightful goal. Holiday with the strike. Exquisite. Incredible, man. That's pretty incredible. Goal indeed. Or is that in the other game? Is that in the other game, Leanne? The Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United game. No worries, Boston. Enjoy your night, man. Wow, dude. 4 goals in the opening half an hour between Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory. It is 2-2. We are waiting for goals in the other games. Again, I shouldn't have said it, But, Glory were up 2-0, and I made that comment a moment ago. Where I was like, if Glory can just come away with a clean sheet after conceding, they've already conceded 6 goals in the Australia. Well, make that 8. They're not even through the round of 16. They've already conceded 8 goals in the Australia Cup. Perth Glory. And I was like, they're just going to try and keep a clean sheet tonight. If they can do that, that'd be great for them. But no. They're conceding more goals yet again. And more defensive woes for David Zrilich. And they are... Well, they just have to sort that out before the A-League season, that's for sure. They've been great in attack. They've been playing some exciting football, Perth Glory, but clearly need to just work on some things defensively. Already conceding 8 goals across 3 games, and those 3 games not even finished yet. Lockie in the chat says, hi, Mr. Coast. Which friend of Dom Ball chat here is upset you're not watching the Moreton game? Absolutely watching the Moreton game. What are you talking about, man? It's 2-2. It's an absolute thriller. We're trying to keep eyes on all the action. We're watching the 2 A-League teams tonight. But I'm indeed watching the Moreton City game, and credit to the Queensland side who are really taking it to Perth Glory tonight. Thanks for jumping in the chat though, Lockie. I appreciate it. No worries at all. No worries at all. All good. Two, Moreton City, Excelsior, Perth Glory. We are awaiting goals in the other games. Melbourne Victory have been pushing. They have been pushing. But haven't been able to find a way just yet. Tell you what, you get a sense now. That the momentum in this game between Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory is really with the home team now. Perth Glory are on the ropes. And look at the pressure that the home team are applying now. Oh, dude, I'm mistaken. There has been a goal in the Victory game, and we missed it. But Victory do have the lead. This is what happens, man, when you're watching 20 games at once. Victory have the lead. There you go. It was coming too, wasn't it? They'd been pushing for a while. But Melbourne Victory have the breakthrough in Sydney. Ten minutes till halftime, at least in the Moreton City Excelsior Perth Glory game. Ryan Teague scoring the goal for Melbourne Victory just a moment ago. 1-0 to Patrick Kisnorbo's side. Stick around at halftime too. We'll be playing Griddle live on stream, which is regular viewers, is our usual halftime entertainment here, testing the A-League knowledge Griddle. Riddlegame.com. Great little fun game to test your A-League player knowledge as Josh Risdon is driving forward. And Faisal shoots on target and down really well to the right there, the goalkeeper. Abdul Faisal with a good couple opportunities in this first half already. Winning the ball back well there, Brandon O'Neill, and that's surely a foul. No, okay. Looked like Faisal was bundled over there. Referee's like, nah. Get up. Get on with it. Morton City Excels, you have a free kick now in a position where they can really build from. Free kick for NWS Spirit, who look to equalise. Jack Duncan in control of that one, though. The Spirit conceding one in the first half already. They'll be eager to just hold it at that one. Try and build a comeback in the second half. Morton City Excelsior, though, they've done so well to come back after conceding 2 early goals, 2 really poor defensive mistakes from them, but great energy that they've shown and the enthusiasm that they're playing with. You can really tell that they're up for this one tonight. Morton City Excelsior, they've seen that 2 Queenslander, other clubs in Queensland, NPL Queensland, knocked out already in the Cup. Olympic were knocked out by South Melbourne on Sunday night. And last night we saw Lions FC. They conceded 4 goals at the hands of Western Sydney Wanderers. So Morton City Excelsior looking to keep the flame alive for Queensland. Of course, Brisbane Roar, the only A-League team in Queensland, knocked out in the playoffs by Perth Glory, of course. We are edging closer towards halftime. Fat Llama in the chat, hello, says, come on, Glory, big fan of you, mate. I'm glad I've finally made a live stream. Well, Llama, I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. And I'm glad you found the channel in the stream. As Morton City Excelsior look to spring down the left once again. It's Holiday down the left. Can he score another worldie? Oh, the short pass is nice. And one more. It's Walters. Great save, Sale. Oh, it was a crucial save. Walters, who's already scored one tonight for Morton City Excelsior. They're having a lot of joy in these wide positions, aren't they, Morton City Excelsior? The run, the short little pass, and the space too. I mean, a little bit concerning from a Glory point of view, the amount of vacant room that's being exploited by Morton City Excelsior. Melbourne Victory coming close to another goal. The Lupale with a strike from outside the box. Melbourne Victory, heavy favourites to go through in that game tonight against Spirit. NWS Spirit, the only team remaining in the Cup from NPL New South Wales. Apia Leichhardt and Blacktown City both knocked out in the round of 32. Which was a bit of a surprise, to be fair. I thought maybe Apia Leichhardt would have gotten the win against Olympic. I tipped them. Yellow card for that challenge. Interesting. That Volupale challenge there. Heavy contact. Oh, dude, I tell you what, they're showing the replay of that moment with Virgos, but the offside flag was up anyway. But a potential penalty shout there in the Melbourne Victory game. Marcus says Oakleigh Cannons miss a penalty. Oh, drama in Melbourne. Really? That is the one game we're not watching tonight simply because I don't have enough screens in front of me. Thanks for that update there, Marcus. Tonight we are focusing on the 2 A-League teams, but there you go. Marcus says Oakleigh Cannons have just missed a penalty. Drama in that one. Well, they're showing it on the Melbourne Victory game now. They're showing that one, and yeah, certainly a handball there. Great opportunity for the Cannons, and it's fired wide. Shocking miss there. Yaron Souza wasn't even called into action. Penalty opportunity for the Cannons missed. Right with you there, Lama. Very excited for the upcoming season. Oh my goodness, that's a red card. Perth Glory have just been reduced to 10 men. It's Bagaria who's off. He was booked earlier on for a challenge, and he's off. Adam Bagaria, who's looked bright so far in this first half. Oh, well, this is not ideal at all for the A-League team. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It feels a little harsh. Is that worthy of a yellow? They're showing the replay. Like he's mistimed the challenge. It's not dangerous in any way. He's made contact with the ankle, but it's not. I don't know, man. I don't agree with that at all. That's not worthy of a yellow card. That's not worthy of a yellow card. Adam Bagaria sent off. I don't agree with it. The first yellow for sure, but I don't know. That's the kind of foul you see all the time in a game of football, and hardly ever booking awarded for a challenge like that. But that is a huge blow for Glory. Bagaria is off. They're playing the rest of the game with 10 men, and it's 2-2 with a lot of football to go. Fat Lama says, Adam, what are you doing? Huge blow for Perth Glory. Disappointing as well. I mean, he was having a good game too, Bagaria. His first start for Perth Glory. He came off the bench in the round of 32. And he was looking good in that number 10 role. Dom in the chat says Morton City on top. Are you at the game right now, Dom? Are you at the game? Morton City 2-2 at the moment with Perth Glory. And oh my goodness, I tell you what, Morton City surely has to be favoured from here. They've got the advantage in terms of personnel on the pitch. It's 2-2 on the scoreline, and they've been playing well in this first half. But Dom, check out Dom's ball chat for plenty of A-League and Australian football content. He's been doing some great vlogs of some of the Australia Cup games that have been played in Queensland over the last few weeks. Morton City Excelsior. This is turning into one of the stories of the Australia Cup for this round. Oh my goodness me. If you're just tuning in, a red card to Perth Glory, a second yellow within this first half for Adam Bagaria, the young midfielder, sent off. Couple minutes to go in the first half. Glory just trying to hold on here. Melbourne Victory have a 1-goal lead over NWS Spirit. Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United, the two teams from MPL Victoria playing tonight. 0-0 in that game. Corner for... Oh, great chance. Oh my gosh, how did that not go in? Morton City Excelsior so close from the corner. How did that stay out? They're coming again. Oh, my goodness. Keep that in play. Keep that in play, son. Wait. Oh, it went out of play. Dude, that was so funny. It pinballed around and went to the goal. That would have been the most embarrassing own goal. But the ball had already gone out of play. Wow. Robert in the chat. Hello to Robert. Who do you think will win the Australia Cup and A-League? Who will win the Australia Cup is a difficult one to answer. Obviously, it being a knockout competition, it's so tricky to call. I think Melbourne Victory have got a great squad this season and could go a long way. So they're up there. Who else? I think Western Sydney Wanderers could make a pretty solid run as well. And those two teams could potentially meet in the semi-finals, I believe, as well. So those feel like the two front runners for me. A-League, at the moment, I think we're looking at Victory. I think Sydney FC will be up there. I'm expecting my Marins to be competitive once again as well. Thanks, Dom. No worries, man. Hope you're enjoying the action tonight. Ooh, Fat Llama with an interesting question. Looking to do my Perth Glory membership this year and do some coverage on the channel. Do you think it would be easy just to make a separate channel for that? I guess it would be if you want to just dedicate for exclusively for Perth Glory stuff, that could be cool. That could be cool. There's some great fan channels, especially some ones that have just been started recently that we're seeing pop up. And I always encourage people, if you're excited about making content and want to promote the A-League in Australian football, get on it, because it needs all the promotion that it can get. And it starts with the fans. You know, there isn't that much coverage in mainstream media, so us fans have to do it, hey? So, yeah, I'd encourage you to do it if that's something you're considering. As we mentioned before, Dom's Ball Chat, another one of those channels who makes that awesome A-League content. So we're into 2 minutes of injury time between Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory, 2-2. It's been a thrilling first half so far. Adam Bagaria sent off for Glory. So the NPL Queensland team looking in a really good position. Melbourne Victory have only scored the 1 goal so far tonight. Ryan Teague scoring a rare goal for his side. Nikos Virgos starting tonight for Melbourne Victory, Greek striker. His competitive debut for Melbourne Victory, I believe. Didn't feature in the round of 32 against Lambton Jaffers. I haven't seen too much of him tonight, to be honest. Here he is now, though. Wow, speak of him. Here we go. Oh, nice little... The back heel was delightful. And the finish from Velupale, it's 2-0 to Melbourne Victory. Literally, as we're just talking about Nikos Virgos, he sets up a delightful goal from Velupale. And the assist was fantastic, too. The little back heel, he knew that his teammate was there. And that's a lovely team goal from Melbourne Victory, who now sit in a really good position in their game. The assist. Oh, dude, that's delightful. And the finish. Left foot. Finessed past the keeper. Beautiful goal from Melbourne Victory. And the assist from Virgos was delightful. Nishan Velupale. Another big season for him coming up, man. Perth Glory Shorts not happy with his side in the defense in this game, 2-2, and it is half-time in that game as well. Half-time, Moreton City 2, Perth Glory 2. First half still going on in the other games right now. Blinkus in the chat. How's it going, man? Says, Perth game has been nuts. Glad for us neutrals. They're still entertaining as hell. That's right. I mean, that might be the thing for Glory once again this season. We've seen it in the cup for them so far. They're scoring goals, but they're conceding goals. So, and it's the same story again tonight for Perth Glory, who see themselves level at 2-2 at the break. Injury time in the first half in Melbourne Victory's game as well. We're going to be playing Griddle at halftime, testing the A-League knowledge. So stick around. We'll be jumping on that in just a moment. My actual name is Lockie. Thanks for jumping in tonight, Robert. Three huge games tonight. And we've already had 6 goals in the first half. 2-2, Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory 2-0. Melbourne Victory lead NWS Spirit. And they look pretty comfortable in that game so far as... the halftime whistle is just set to blow now. Having a quick check-up on the other game. It is halftime between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United. 0-0 in that game as well. A missed penalty for the home team. Oakleigh Cannons missing from the penalty spot. A disappointing moment for them. But now it is time to play Griddle as Melbourne Victory and Spirit head into the sheds. Victory leading 2-0. So, for those that don't know, Griddle is an A-League player guessing game, and we often play it at halftime in our streams. Let's pull it up right now. Here we go. You can play. It's griddlegame.com. It's made by the wonderful folks over at Ultimate A-League, and we're about to test the A-League knowledge here tonight and see how we go. Fat Llama asks, how long have you been a Central Coast fan for? Since they started, I was a young kid when they came into the competition in 2005, and I remember going along to some of those games as a kid. And I've grown up on the Central Coast my whole life. Lived on the Central Coast my whole life, and yeah, man, they've been the team since season 1. My parents signed me up as a member pretty early on too when I was a kid. And that just goes from there. So it's been since day one. Blinkus, I 100% agree. Says Perth's red was kind of harsh in my opinion, but he was on a yellow. It for me, that second challenge just wasn't even worthy of a second yellow. Like, he was late, but it was just a mistimed tackle. It wasn't dangerous. It wasn't like the contact wasn't all that heavy. It was a foul. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a foul, 100%. But like a yellow card for that, I thought it was pretty harsh. Appreciate that, Llama. Appreciate that. Looks like we've got a few Glory fans in the chat tonight. Good to see as always. Hey, let's jump into Griddle, shall we? Let's see here. We've got 3 clubs involved in Griddle tonight. Macarthur FC, Western Sydney Wanderers, and that's Western United down at bottom left. Players who have got at least a red card, players who have started over 50 games, and players who have played for 5+ clubs. Now, that's an interesting one. 5+ clubs played for and a red card. Now, someone we could go for there is probably Liam Reddy. Like, Liam Reddy's been sent off. Tell you what, I'm going to go for Danny Vukovic. I know Danny Vukovic has definitely been sent off. There we go. 5 clubs played for, 2 red cards for Danny Vukovic in his early career. Let's see. What else have we got here? 50 games started and played for 5 clubs. Okay, that should be easy. There's heaps of players. I mean, we could go for Liam Reddy there. He's the obvious choice. We're going to go for someone. Let's see if we can pick a bit more of an interesting answer for a 5+ club player. I don't know why I'm thinking Mitch Nichols though. Mitch Nichols played for Brisbane Wanderers. I think he played for Perth. Who else did he play for? We should just go Liam Reddy just to be safe. We should just go Liam Reddy. I've tried that before where I try to go for the niche answers and sometimes it backfires on me. Topper Stanley says Blinky. Yeah, he would have worked there. Hey, Liam Reddy, nostalgic. Says Perth Glory shorts. Let's keep rolling here. 5+ clubs played for and for Western United. And there's probably a few players we could go for there, surely. Topper Stanley is one we can go for there. So we will throw Nikolai Topper Stanley in there. 1 red card for Macarthur FC. Ivan Vujica, if I'm not mistaken, was sent off in a game. Oh, what? Could have sworn he was sent off in a game last season. Was he not sent off against Sydney FC? I must be imagining it. I'm looking that up later, man. I swear Ivan Vujica has been sent off. Yeah, he was sent off against Sydney FC last year. I must be remembering that wrong. Let's keep rolling. 50 games started for Macarthur. See, that's an interesting one. They probably not many players have started over 50 games for the Bulls because obviously they just haven't played that many games, you know. But Philip Curto has been there for a couple of years. Has he started 50 games? Probably. Philip Curto's been there for the last couple of years. 76. There you go. That's like 3 seasons worth, isn't it? Philip Curto. 50+ games started for Western Sydney Wanderers. Surely like someone like Mark Bridge. You'd reckon. There you go, 103. Okay, well and truly. 103 games for Wanderers there, Mark Bridge. 1 red card for Western Sydney Wanderers. Jeez. Marcelo, right? Marcelo was sent off. There you go, 2 red cards for Marcelo. Couple more tiles left here in our Griddle game. Western United and Macarthur FC, a play was played. We could have gone Curto there, but there's a few other we could go for. We're going to go Jerry Skatatis. And then lastly, a player who was played for both Western United and Western Sydney Wanderers. Well, Tate Russell's signed for Western United this season, but hasn't made an A-League appearance yet, so he wouldn't qualify. But a player who has played for both clubs. There's going to be a bunch, right? Joshy Risdon, who's on the field tonight for Perth Glory, of course. Let's have a look at this one here. Red cards for Macarthur. There's a whole bunch. Wow. I must just be imagining that. I could have sworn Ivan Vujica picked up a red card against Sydney last year. I must just be imagining that, man. I must just be imagining that. If you are just tuning in, it is half-time in the Australia Cup round of 16, Matchday 3. Updates here at the bottom of your screens here on the live stream. 2-0 Melbourne Victory lead. NWS Spirit, Moreton City Excelsior 2, Perth Glory 2. Plenty of drama in that game. Glory have had a player sent off. Bagari's been sent off for a second yellow. And 0-0 between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United. Robert says Keely Adamson for MacArthur, 1 red card. Yep, could have gone him as well, hey. Troisi, yeah, Troisi would have been, bottom right, hey. Yeah, James Troisi's played for both Wanderers and Western. Where's James Troisi at the moment? What's James Troisi up to at the moment? Can someone do a quick Google for me? And where is James? Is he playing football at the moment? I don't remember seeing James Troisi playing any football lately. They're showing some of the highlights across these games. Some nice goals so far, haven't we've seen so far? Hey, Moreton City's second goal from Holiday was a fantastic strike. Nice goal from Nishan Valupale before halftime as well. This is the final match day in the round of 16. We've had some huge results so far. A 4-3 win for MacArthur FC over Newcastle Jets in that all A-League matchup. South Melbourne defeating Olympic 3-2 on Sunday as well. 3 games last night. Adelaide defeating Olympic Kingsway 3-2. We also had West Sydney Wanderers scoring 4 past Lions FC to cruise past the Queensland side. And then last of all, we also saw Hume City defeat FC Melbourne Serbia 1-0 last night. So we're set up for some really intriguing quarterfinal matchups already. And we will know the quarterfinal ties after tonight. Stats being shown. Melbourne Victory controlling 2/3 of possession, 7 shots already, 6 on target. That's a really good accuracy rate there. It's 6 out of 7 shots on target. It's really solid. Fat Lama says I think he's with West Sydney Wanderers at the moment. James Teresi. Justin says without a club according to Transfer Market. I think Wanderers was his last club. Is that right? I think Wanderers was his last club. But yeah, there you go, James Troisi. Interesting. I wonder what he's up to. I feel like he could probably still get a run at an A-League club, eh? When he's going, when he's in form, James Troisi, he's a really solid player. He really, really is. So second half just around the corner in these 3 games. Very intrigued to see what Perth Glory do in the second half. They've been reduced to 10 players. Do they make a change here? I wouldn't expect them to. They're just going to go to sort of like a 4-4-1 formation, but it's going to be a pretty lonely job at the top end of the pitch for Adam Taggart leading the line tonight for Perth Glory. He hasn't really been involved too much. So we'll certainly keep an eye on what Perth Glory do there in this game. Melbourne Victory as well. You'd imagine they'll cruise through from here. Already a 2-goal lead against NWS Spirit. The Spirit have only had 1 shot so far. That came pretty early on from a corner. Tell you what, though, Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United, that game could well go into extra time. It just has got it's got an extra time feeling about it, doesn't it? It's 0-0. The missed penalty in the first half. Oakleigh Cannons missing the penalty. 2 sides who have obviously faced each other a couple of times in the league already this year. Oakleigh Cannons picked up a win early on in the season, then a 1-1 draw. They also met in the Doherty Cup final last year. 4 shots for the Cannons at halftime, just the 2 for Heidelberg United, yet to find 1 on target. Heidelberg United just edging it out in possession at the moment. So tight stuff there in Victoria. Hey, that's right, Blinkers. That's right, James Troisi. Scored the winner in an Asian Cup. He'll always have that. Yeah, that's probably going to be the highlight of his career, man. It's I remember that. Almost crazy thing is almost 10 years ago that Asian Cup on home soil for Australia, and we've got another one. We've got the Women's Asian Cup, coming up. Next year? Or no, sort of the year after that, 2026. Australia are hosting the Asian Cup as well, so that's very exciting. Fat Lama says, come on, Glory. Can they keep up this fantastic scoring run that they've had so far in the Cup? They've got to make sure they don't concede. I mean, that's the important thing. That's the area that you feel like really needs to be worked on for Perth Glory, especially heading into this A-League season, because they're going to be punished, man, by some of these dangerous attacks. You look at some of the attacks that these teams are building. I mean, Sydney FC with the signing of Douglas Costa, and you've got Joe Lolly there, linked with the international striker as well. Melbourne Victory, their attack are already looking good so far this season. Virgos starting tonight up top for them. Valupale, Arzani, Piscopo, Machash. There's some really, really dangerous attacks across the league this season. And if you've got a leaky defense, well, it's going to be tricky for you to finish in a top 6 position. So Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory have just returned to the field. Still a few minutes away until Melbourne Victory and NWS Spirit kick off. Those are the 2 games that we're focusing on tonight, the A-League teams. And who knows? I tell you what, if we might be destined for extra time in the 3rd game as well, Oakleigh Heidelberg United. Yeah, man, if you're a Glory fan, this is nervy. This is nervy if you're a Glory fan. It reminds me of how I felt watching Central Coast Mariners in the round of 32 after we lost to Heidelberg United. We went to extra time, and that was a bit worrisome too. So this is going to be really interesting for Perth Glory here. What do they do? How do they approach this one? How do they approach this second half? Do they just try and, play it conservative? Try and hold on till extra time? So, second half is underway in Queensland. And by the looks of things, it looks like Perth Glory maybe not going for that 4-4-1, playing Taggart up alone. It looks like it might be more of a 4-3-2. We can see that Abdullah Faisal is playing pretty high up alongside Adam Taggart as 2 forward players. And then you've got 3 midfielders sitting a bit deeper in Carluccio, O'Neill, the central midfielder, and Gomulka playing more on the left-hand side. So a 4-3-2 formation for Glory in this second half. Melbourne City Shorts in the chat. G'day, Melbourne City Shorts. Come on, the Spirit. Backing them against the rivals. Melbourne Victory, of course, their Shorts. Shouldn't be red. I agree. The second yellow was not worth it for me. So, this is going to be interesting here. Moreton City Excelsior. You'd expect them to control most of possession here, having that extra player on the field. And you can see Perth Glory already having to sit a little bit deep. That back 4 and then the 3 midfield players sitting in front. And it's gonna be all about the counter-attack. I mean, someone like Abdul Faisal, no surprise they're wanting to play him in such an advanced role. If they can get him flying away, that's going to be the route forward, I think, for Perth Glory. Kickoff in the second half in Sydney as well. Melbourne Victory leading NWS Spirit 2-0. You're not going to like this one, Lama. You're not going to like this one. I do follow the Premier League. Who do I back? And yeah, like I said, you're not going to like this one. I am a Tottenham fan. I am a Spurs fan. I've been one not as long as I've been a Mariners fan for, but yeah, I was in school when I picked Tottenham, so yeah, I've been backing them for a while. Perth Glory, they might need to look to their bench in the second half to find a route to a winner. Moreton City Excelsior, long ball into the box, headed away. Carluccio on the ball. Every time Glory get possession here, it's going to be really interesting just to see what they do. They're taking this slow approach this time. That's right. We love the A-League. We love the Premier League too, of course, but nothing beats the league on home soil. The league on our doorstep. Second half in the Australia Cup, Matchday 3. Victory looking to finish the job here against NWS Spirit. Can Spirit manufacture a big comeback? Melbourne Victory won the Australia Cup in 2021. Can they do it again in 2024? Good little chance for Spirit here. They got the ball over the top, driving forward. Flicked over to the left. It's cleared away, though, by Victory. So you'd imagine Victory should be pretty comfortable on from here. Surely. I'm a Brazilian living in Australia, and I'm starting to follow Australian football. There you go. Love that. And I guess you're probably pretty excited about Douglas Costa coming to the league as well. Great to have there's a bunch of Brazilian players in the league this year. Victor Feijão at Santa Cruz Mariners, as well as Mikael Docker. Sydney FC had a couple of Brazilian players in their books last year, and Douglas Costa will be there this year as well. Love that. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for jumping in the live chat. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight for this big live stream. 3 games we are watching tonight. All simultaneous kickoffs. If you want to support the channel, make sure to hit the like button. You can subscribe if you want to keep up to date to more live streams like this. And you can also consider sending through a super chat. And that's what we're trying to create here, man. A welcoming and like-minded community of Australian football fans. A place to discuss all things Australian football. So it's a pretty slow start to the second half between Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory. Glory having to do a bit more defensive work in this second half. This is going to be a big test for them because you feel like the home team here, Moreton City Excelsior, have the momentum. They've got the extra player. It was so impressive too. I mean, just that first half was remarkable. The way that Perth Glory took the 2-goal lead so early, within 10 minutes. 2 really disappointing defensive errors from Moreton City Excelsior. And then the way that the home team just came back, scored 2 very nice goals. Oh, it's picked off here. Taggart. It's a poor pass at the back and Taggart shoots wide. It's a great save. It's a super save from Foster, the goalkeeper. That was a huge opportunity for Perth Glory. That would have been massive to take the lead there. Adam Taggart threw on goal. He took the strike really early, but I guess the defenders were closing him down pretty quick. What's driving me crazy about football here is that there's not having promotion relegation. It would make the championship much cooler. Hopefully, it does get introduced soon enough. I think the plan is for it to come in the future. I think everyone wants it, and we just got to try and keep growing the game. Hey, the game needs more money, needs more viewership, just needs more everything. But yeah, that's fair enough. It's certainly something that I think would enhance the league and football in Australia if we had promotion relegation. I don't mind the fact, in regards to the A-League and the Australia Cup, I do like how they introduced the thing where the bottom 4 in the A-League have to go through the Australia Cup playoffs. So there are 2 teams who do get knocked out of the Australia Cup pretty early on. I mean, that's the simple fact about it, isn't it, Justin? It just needs more money. It's we shouldn't forget as well, the A-League is still pretty young, like not even 20 years old. It's still early days, relatively speaking. Here's a corner for Perth Glory. Good opportunity for them. Outswinger from Gamulka. Headed away at the near post. Some of Gamulka's corners have been... deliveries haven't been all that great, aside from the one they did score, of course. But that's a few times now. It's just been driven low at the near post. Gamulka's going to go again here from the corner. Bit better with the delivery too. Foster makes a good save to his right as well. Good header. Fat Llama with an interesting question. Do you think the A-League will get more teams in the coming years? Yes. I think we know that for a fact too. I think the expectation is that Canberra will join next year in the men's competition. So I think we will see that. It's not like fully confirmed, but to me, the expectation is that we'll see Melbourne Victory. Sorry, Melbourne Victory. I was looking at Melbourne Victory, the game just then. We will see Canberra United or Canberra, whatever they're going to be called, in the A-League men's competition next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. And then I think they'll continue to expand from there. I'd like to see the A-League go to 16 teams and maybe just sit there for a little bit. I feel like 16 is a pretty solid number. In terms of expansion, I mean, this is something that we've talked about a lot on the channel, and I've sort of been pretty concrete in where I think the expansion would happen. I do like that Canberra will come in as the next team. That makes a lot of sense. And the next two for me has to be a second Queensland team and a Tasmanian team. The Tasmania thing's interesting because it's just like ovals, right? They don't really have like a rectangular stadium, to my knowledge, at least. It's just ovals. So that's the tricky thing for Tasmania. They really need like a rectangular stadium. And then Queensland, we need a second Queensland team. I'd love to see Gold Coast explored again. But you look at, a state like Queensland, which is the third most populated state in Australia. We've got 5 teams in New South Wales, of course. 3 teams in Victoria. We've only got 1 team in all of Queensland. I know we expanded there, over a decade ago with North Queensland Fury and Gold Coast United. Let's try it again and see if we can do it right this time. But I feel like a second, even if it's just a second team in Brisbane, I feel like Gold Coast makes a lot of sense though. You can sort of create that rivalry. You can have away fans easily traveling from Brisbane, Gold Coast. That's my thought at least. Well, as you say there, Melbourne City Shorts, an even fixture. Yeah, if we had, 14 or 16 teams, 26 rounds of everyone playing twice. If we had 14 teams, yeah, hopefully that's what it is. Hopefully. Melbourne City Shorts would like to see Canberra, Gold Coast, Hobart. There you go. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I'm pretty much the same. No goals by the looks of things just yet in the other games. Oh, we might have a goal update here. We do indeed. It's a goal for Oakleigh Cannons. They've opened the scoring 1-0. It's Jordan Hall who scored for Oakleigh Cannons. The breakthrough has come in Victoria. Jordan Hall, former Melbourne City defender, now at the books, on the books at Oakleigh Cannons, scoring for the home team there. 1-0. So we have goals in every game now. All 3 games, we have goals. Fat Llama says, I think the A-League definitely deserves the attention that the AFL and NRL get because football is a world-class sport, of course. And hey, hopefully one day it is, the top news story in Australia. Obviously, AFL and NRL have really established themselves as the big leagues in Australian sport. And look, I believe the A-League can get there one day. I really do believe that there's so much potential. And as you say there, it's the world game. It is. It's the biggest game in the world. And you see that you look at the scenes from when, the Socceroos were at the World Cup a couple of years ago, and obviously the scenes when Australia hosted the Women's World Cup along with New Zealand last year. There is so much potential in Australia for the game of football to just to really take over. So many people play it around the country as well. So it's got so much potential. And that's why I'm doing this channel, man. That's why we're here making the content. And we're talking about a bit before. There's a bunch of awesome content creators making noise about football. It's because it's got the potential, right? Yeah. And a lot of you guys here, like these are the early days, right? You guys are the OGs right now watching this. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to grow. And we're just going to provide the platform for it, Justin says, in regards to expansion. Wollongong wouldn't be bad. Has a lot of history. Quite a good stadium. I think they've put a few bids in. Yeah, I've been to that stadium down at Wollongong a couple times to see my Central Coast Mariners play. Was there last year for the Australia Cup. Wollongong would be interesting. I think that's probably if we wanted to expand beyond the 16. I think just the fact that we've got 5 teams in New South Wales, just we don't really need anyone else for now, unless like we wanted to expand to like 18 teams, or if we wanted to, bring in promotion relegation, bring in Wollongong Wolves. So that's my thought. I feel like if we had 6 New South Wales teams, it's pushing it. It's pushing it. That is one of the things I do like about the A-League is that the teams are relatively, spread out across the country. Obviously, with the AFL, there's a pretty sort of heavy leaning in Melbourne, and with the NRL, there's a whole bunch of Sydney clubs. Oh, we've got a third goal for Melbourne Victory, and it's a first goal for Nikos Vergos. The Greek striker's just scored. That's number 3 for Melbourne Victory, and they are well and truly now cruising through to the quarterfinals. Let's have a look at it. Zinedine Machash driving forward, cutting inside, looking to the right. Nishan Velupale, first-time cross. Vergos unmarked in the centre. Too good there, Melbourne Victory. Lovely build-up play. The back heel from Arzani to release Machash as well. What a goal. Velupale's that first-time cross was delightful too. Vergos was onside. It's a first goal in Melbourne Victory colours for Nikos Vergos, the new number 9 for Victory. Here come Morton City Excelsior. The cross comes in. Dangerous. We tick past the hour mark in Queensland. Perth Glory still holding on here. It's 2-2. Chance for Spirit. They're trying to find a shot on goal here. But the desperate defending from Victory doing enough at the moment. Good to see Adam in the chat tonight. G'day, Adam. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this big watch along. We still have half an hour or so to go in regular time, at least. Extra time might be required. And it could be Perth Glory and Morton City Excelsior who are destined for extra time at this rate. 2-2 in that game. Oh, that's a certain handball. Morton City Excelsior, we're almost in behind again. So NWS Spirit, it's looking highly unlikely now at this stage that they will manufacture a comeback. Melbourne Victory looking good once again, man. Scored 4 against Lambton Jaffers. I've already scored 3 here against Spirit, and there's still half an hour to go in that game. Nikos Vergos, the new striker for Victory, scoring his first goal tonight. After Teague and Velupale scored in the first half. Spirit trying to get in behind once again. They're finding a couple openings now, and the shot's not bad. Jack Duncan had to be on his toes there because there was a decent amount of power behind that strike. Nice work there by NWS Spirit just to get the shot away at least. Perth Glory on the attack here, and the strike comes in. Oh, great save. What a reflex save there from Foster. Shot was flying in. Glory would love a third goal here just to allow them to sit back and just defend it from there. Doesn't look like we've had an update in the other game just yet. Oakleigh Cannons leading Heidelberg United 1-0. Winner of that game will go on to play MacArthur FC. But this second half has been all defense for Perth Glory, hasn't it? They haven't had too many opportunities on attack. Gus is in the chat. G'day, Gus. Thanks for jumping in to say g'day. Corner for Moreton City Excelsior. Oh, the head is just flicked wide. Got to it well. Couldn't find the direction. Fat Lama says, I will admit Victory is killing it right now. I mean, yeah, they're just too good at the moment, aren't they? They're too good. And we were talking a bit earlier tonight about how their squad depth for this season is just, it's looking so good. They could well and truly be one of the front runners this year in the A-League. You just look at the squad on paper and it's got all the ingredients for a successful team, hasn't it? Roderick Miranda goes long. Looking for Boss. There's going to be more goals in that one for Victory for sure. Go Western United, says Gus. Good to see a Western United fan in the chat, as always. Happy birthday to Adam on the weekend as well. Good to see you tuning in as always, Adam. Thanks, man. And Fat Llama also says Victory will definitely be title contenders if they play like this. They just haven't really been tested yet, have they? No disrespect to their opponents, but they haven't really been tested too much in this Australia Cup. Lambton Jaffers from the Northern New South Wales NPL. NWS Spirit from NPL New South Wales. All the tension, though. It's funny. The games are such different. The context around the games now just feels so different. The vibes. Melbourne Victory cruising here, leading 3-0 against Spirit. The Perth Glory are really on the ropes here, trying to hold on. It's 2-2. If you're just tuning in, Perth Glory had a player sent off at the end of the first half. Adam Bagaria receiving 2 yellows in the first period. I didn't agree with the second one. The referee made the call. And it's been a really tricky time in the second half for Perth Glory. That's the question, isn't it, Gus? Do you think Central Coast will win again? I'd like to think so. I think we'll be competitive once again. I'm not going to go as far as to say that we will win it again, but I think we are capable. I think you look at the squad that we're building this year and some of the signings that we've made to replace some of the big players who have departed. I mean, Trent Bahagia. Speaking about Bahagia, you got Gus Bahagia. That's why I thought Bahagia, but Trent Sainsbury, of course. That's the big one that we've made recently, and that's a key signing for us, man, just to shore things up at the back. Oof. Bit of friendly fire there for Perth Glory. Josh Risden copping one to the head. Hopefully he's all right. He looks like he's all good to go. Just over 20 minutes to go in Queensland. Moreton City Excelsior 2, Perth Glory 2. Is there a winner on the cards for the home team who have an extra player on the field? Mike Jeffries, I mean, that's the question. That's the question. Thanks for the question as well, Mike. Good to see you in the chat tonight. I mean, based off the Australia Cup this year, the easy answer is Victoria. The easy answer is Victoria. There's probably an argument for New South Wales as well. There's obviously some good teams in Queensland. We always see them do all right in the Australia Cup. Obviously, so many fantastic talent comes from South Australia as well. You can make arguments for pretty much almost any state. But at the moment, I think it's probably fair to say Victoria. Probably up there as the strongest at the moment. Couple of changes for Melbourne Victory. Bruno Fornaroli and Ren Episcopo have come on. I mean, how about in terms of quality players to bring on? Doesn't get much better than that in the A-League. So Nikos Vergos scores on his Melbourne Victory starting debut. He's replaced by Bruno Fornaroli. This is going to be interesting at Melbourne Victory. Is Bruno Fornaroli going to be playing a substitute role at his team this season? That's going to be interesting. Ren Episcopo on to replace Nadim Machash. So the two central attackers have been replaced there at Melbourne Victory in the second half. Glory on the attack. What can they find here? Faisal cutting in. Still going. Just muscled off it in the end, wasn't he? That's got to be a yellow surely for Gamorka. Play on. Oh, decent cross here for Victory. Fornaroli's in. That's a good save, but the follow-up is put away very coolly. It's Nishan Volupale again. 2 goals tonight for Melbourne Victory. Easy finish there for Volupale. It was an open net. The initial cross was delightful. Fornaroli's shot was well saved. Goalkeeper couldn't do too much about Volupale's shot. Melbourne Victory, another 4-goal scoreline for them in the cup. And again, just Victory, just too quick to it. Right onto it, onto that opportunity. Nishan Volupale, another goal. Could the young winger be set for another huge season for his side? Victory? Talented player, Nishan Volupale. 20 minutes to go between Perth Glory and Moreton City Excelsior. Still 2-2. Appreciate you guys tuning into this mega live watch along tonight. 3 games, simultaneous kickoffs. Final match day in the round of 16. NWS Spirit. Looks like their cup run will end. Well, too early for their liking, obviously. They haven't had too much success going deep into the finals rounds, but they have made a couple appearances in the final rounds now. NWS Spirit. 10 shots on target for Melbourne Victory in this game. 10 shots on target for them. Just the 2 on target for NWS Spirit tonight. Jack Duncan has been tested a couple times. Ooh, that's a possible penalty shout for Spirits. Referee's not interested, though. This is a real stalemate between Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory. There hasn't really been many opportunities in the second half, eh? It really hasn't. Who do you go from the EPL? I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Up the Spurs. Oof. Heavy contact on Jason Guerrier. He goes down. Referee's going to stop the game here. Not sure why. Victory had the ball. Maybe just checking on the welfare of Jason Guerrier, who copped some heavy contact there. The Victory right back, and that's a heavy challenge in the other game. Lisolaski has wiped out a Moreton City player and has come off worse for wear as well. It's Anderson for Moreton City who's down, and Zach Lisolaski looks like he's a bit sore as well. Heavy collision right on the sideline. Melbourne Victory now just cruising through to the full-time whistle. 4-goal lead. They can afford to relax a little bit. Just keep the ball, keep possession, control things for a bit. Then we get a couple more fresh faces off the bench onto the field, give some rests to some more players. Better tell you what, this Victory... I mean, again, you look at the bench for Victory. They've already brought on Fornaroli, Piscopo. Traore's there. Fabian Monge's another good midfield option. There's such a strong team. Jing Reese isn't even in the team tonight for Victory. So, long-range free kick out wide here for Morton City Excelsior. Could this be where they make their breakthrough in the second half? Delivery's all right too. Bouncing around, not convinced. Oh, that's got to be a pen. Surely. Referee's not interested. That looked like heavy contact on the attacker. Heavy challenge. Adam Kersey not interested. Replay is going to be very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Morton City Excelsior on the attack again. Again, some heavy challenges flying in as they drive forward here. The NPL Queensland team, the cross comes in. Defensive head is not that convincing. Looping back in again. Oh my goodness. The attempted bicycle kick. Almost collecting Majegodumni in the head. Spectacular effort there. And that would have been one of the goals of the Cup. We've had some truly insane goals already in this Australia Cup 2024 in the final rounds. We had a goal scored from a corner last night for Hume City. South Melbourne scored a goal from near the halfway line as well, didn't they? On Sunday. Oh my goodness, though. How did that not hit? It looked like Majegodumni just got hit in the face. But the boot must have evaded him in the end. "15 minutes to go. 2-2 between Morton City Excelsior and Perth Glory. Adam Bagaria sent off for Glory in the first half. 4-0. Melbourne Victory lead NWS Spirit. Another convincing performance here tonight from Melbourne Victory, who, tell you what, we were talking a little bit earlier about favourites potentially for this Australia Cup this year. Melbourne Victory, they will be hard to stop in this Cup run. And Melbourne Victory, well, they'll be going through to face either Morton City Excelsior or Perth Glory, one of those two teams. Still 1-0 to Oakleigh Cannons over Heidelberg United in that match in Victoria. Morton City Excelsior looking to knock the ball around, trying to find a route through this stubborn Perth Glory defence, who, credit to them, have stayed organised and disciplined in the second half. Very disappointing the way Glory conceded those 2 goals in the first period, but they've had to tighten things up in the second half. Melbourne Victory looking to find number 5 now. Brendan Piscopo. Interested to see how he goes at Melbourne Victory this year. Obviously spent the last couple seasons at Newcastle Jets. Was at Wellington Phoenix as well a few years ago. Player with obviously a lot of potential when he's injury-free. I mean, that's the main thing for Renan Piscopo. You just hope that the guy stays injury-free this season. Because if he can, there's a really, really high-quality player there. Might not get a starting role in this Victory side. That's the only thing. I mean, he started on the bench again tonight. And it's hard to see where exactly he does fit in. I mean, Zinedine Machash has that number 10 role locked down for sure. Does Piscopo find a position out wide? I mean, Valupale and Arzani look like they've got those roles locked down. Looks like Perth Glory making a change here. Zach Lizaleski's coming off. Scored a goal tonight for Glory, the first one. Luke Bodnas coming on to replace. Jared Carluccio. Long throw towards Taggart, who flicks it on. In fact, it was Nathaniel Blair who's come off the bench to join the attack for Perth Glory. Nathaniel Blair. Already 3 goals in the Australia Cup after 2 appearances. Now, this is crucial for Glory here. I mean, just with 10 players on the field, Another corner opportunity. Gomulka will deliver. Tarash Gomulka. Needs a good delivery here. If they can take the lead here, it would be huge. The corner's not great, man. The corner's not great at all. Or maybe the delivery was all right, just no one was there for it. In fact, it was Nathaniel Blair who came on for Zach Lizalewski just before. Luke Bodnar looks like he's jumped into midfield. Faisal has also departed the pitch for Perth Glory in the final stages of this game. That I tell you what, the longer this second half goes on, obviously the higher the chances that this game's going to extra time. It has got that feel about it now, doesn't it? Moreton City Excelsior just are struggling to create quality chances. Here they go now, down the right-hand side. It's a good run. The cross, pretty easily dealt with. And again, Glory are just struggling to break free. That's the thing as well. There's sort of like a reoccurring sort of pattern in the second half here. Moreton City Excelsior having a decent amount of possession, unable to really create a quality chance. Glory try to get away and aren't really able to get out of their own half. Hoey's come on for his debut here for Melbourne Victory, replacing Daniel Arzani. Good to see Melbourne Victory playing a couple more younger players. We saw Lee make his debut for Victory. He started, in fact, last time around in the round of 32 in the wing. Ten minutes to go in regular time between Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory. It remains locked at 2-2. All of those 4 goals coming in the first half. Melbourne Victory now have it at 4-0 in their game over NWS Spirit. Still 1-0 to Oakleigh Cannons as well. They look like they'll be cruising through to the quarterfinals to take on Macarthur FC. And of course, as we know, NPL opposition. NPL teams will be hosting A-League opposition if they do come up against A-League teams. So that will mean Oakleigh Cannons to host Macarthur FC in the quarterfinals. Here come Victory looking for another. That's a great challenge at the back. Falupale was cruising through. Valadon picks it up. Short for Fornaroli. Oh, nice footwork from Bruno Fornaroli for Piscopo. Couldn't finish the link-up play. Teague keeps it going. I mean, you just look at the personnel on the pitch here for Victory. So much quality. But again, it's a real relaxed vibe at the moment for Melbourne Victory. They look pretty comfortable. Holding on to this 4-goal lead. Perth Glory looking for a route through on the counter-attack. Now in the final 10 minutes, they are starting to commit some more numbers forward, that's for sure. I think the fresh legs have probably helped that too. Blair coming on, Bodnar's on. Looks like Jared Carluccio is the one who's dropped to left back for Perth Glory. No goals for a little while now. It was a goal fest in the first half between Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory. Still 2-2. Melbourne Victory have grabbed 2 second-half goals. Oakleigh Cannons made the breakthrough against Heidelberg in the second half as well. You'd imagine now Heidelberg United really chasing this equaliser as they're into the final 10 minutes in that game down in Victoria as well. 3 games on tonight, the 3 final games in the round of 16. Quarterfinals coming up in September to be played between the 11th and 15th of September. We've already got a couple of those quarterfinal ties figured out. We know that South Melbourne will be taking on Hume City for an all-Victorian matchup. Adelaide United will host Western Sydney Wanderers for a huge A-League matchup in the quarterfinals as well. That'll be an intriguing one to watch. Melbourne Victory have all but sealed their place in the quarterfinals and will be playing either Moreton City Excelsior or Perth Glory in Oakleigh Cannons. At the moment, looks set to host Macarthur FC unless Heidelberg United make a late comeback here. Nice passing down the right for Moreton City Excelsior. Carluccio's there on the defense. No foul. Play on. Glory clear it though. Brandon O'Neill. Brandon O'Neill's put in a really good shift tonight for Glory, hasn't he? Playing in that defensive midfield role, but the headers! Oh, is it in? Yes, it is. They've finally got it. Moreton City Excelsior finally made the breakthrough. It's 3-2. The NPL Queensland team have been pushing and pushing, and their header flies past Ollie Sale. Look at the celebrations, the scenes. What it means to these players. The delivery came in. Question marks about a potential offside. Of course, no VAR in the cup, so it doesn't matter anyway. Great placement on their header. I mean, what a delivery. The long ball floated in. I mean, again, just shocking defending from Glory. Not for the first time tonight. Too much space between Muir and Carluccio. And their header flies past Ollie Sale. Moreton ahead indeed, Blinkers. What a moment for the team from Queensland. Wow. Good to see Krasdog in the chat here tonight. Krasdog chiming in regards to the Jets game on the weekend against Macarthur. Said Jets could have played so much better. I don't know why they dropped back when we scored that second goal. Yeah, dude, I was really impressed with Newcastle Jets, especially in that first half against Macarthur FC. But yeah, so disappointed the way they just sort of folded in the second half. It was all Macarthur. It was all Macarthur. They got that one goal back, but then the Bulls just kept coming and ran away with it in the end. So that was a really disappointing from a Jets point of view, considering how well they started. They looked so good for the first 20 minutes of the game, but that was it. So yeah, very disappointing from a Newcastle point of view. But finally, we have a late goal here. So this is interesting now. Perth Glory side, who have been reduced to 10 players, have to throw everything forward. Cohen goes onto the field. David Williams is on the field as well. Some fresh legs for Glory as they chase a late equaliser here. Moreton City Excelsior holding on. Low delivery from the free kick. And Moreton City Excelsior are springing away on the counter-attack. That cross is offline and Ollie Sale will claim. Oh, another long ball here for Moreton City Excelsior. Glory committing players forward. Moreton City, could they score a fourth here? The shot comes flying in from outside the box, driven wide. Wow, dude, what a story. We hadn't had a cup set in the round of 16 yet. Adelaide got their win. Wanderers got their win. But here we are. Melbourne Victory look to get their win tonight. 4-0 against NWS Spirit at the moment. Perth Glory. There were a bunch of people tipping Moreton City to get the win here. And they lead 3-2. Crazy night of Australia Cup action once again, man. We're in the 89th minute here. Moreton City Excelsior leading Perth Glory 3-2. Glory throwing everything forward now with only 10 plays on the field. Oh, we've got an equaliser as well. Heidelberg, you've equalised. And it was another penalty as well. Incredible. Oakleigh Cannons didn't look happy about it. Converting from the penalty spot. It's 2-2 and it's Ellis. Sorry, 1-1. Ellis makes it 1-1 for Heidelberg. That game could be destined for extra time. Incredible, dude. Late drama in the Australia Cup tonight. Wow. Heidelberg United pushing and pushing. They had 2 penalties in the game. Well, not Heidelberg. There were 2 penalties in that game altogether. Oakleigh Cannon missing in the first half. Heidelberg United get their opportunity from the spot, and Ellis takes it for the Burgers. We just clicked past 2 hours here on the live stream. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight as we approach the latter stages of all 3 games now in regular time. Make sure to hit the like button to support. We've got a lot of content coming up over the next few weeks. The soccer is in action next week. Very excited for that. Socceroos resuming their World Cup qualifying campaign next week against Bahrain. 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes here for Perth Glory to keep their Australia Cup dream alive. Can they do it? This has been a truly magical night for Moreton City Excelsior, man. This has been a dramatic contest. Crazy first half. It's been a real stalemate in the second half with Glory sitting back, but they have to throw everything forward now. Carl Lucio up from left back. David Williams is there. He's the master at scoring late goals, that's for sure. Williams. The cross is all right, but the keeper will claim it. Foster spills it. Lucky that the defense was there to clear it away. Victory lead Spirit 4-0. Excelsior. Moreton City Excelsior 3-2 over A-League side Perth Glory at the moment with barely minutes to go. Heidelberg United have found a late equaliser from the penalty spot. It's 1-1 in that all-NPL Victorian matchup. 4 minutes added on for Perth Glory here. 1 minute has already been played. Heavy challenge on Williams. Blair flies in. Free kick to Glory in a great position here. Challenges flying in. It's real desperate times here for both teams. Moreton City Excelsior just trying to hold on here at the end. I think the free kick was probably the correct call there. It was a heavy challenge on David Williams. Well, Tarish Kamulka, he's been taking the set pieces tonight for Perth Glory, and he has stepped up as the lone potential free kick taker here. No one else is there. No left-footed option. Probably would have favoured a left foot. Don't know if they've got a left-footed player on the field right now, Perth Glory. Here is Gormulka for Glory. The shot blocked by the wall. Couldn't get the lift on it there, Gormulka. Throw in for Moreton City. 2 minutes have been played. 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes now remaining in injury time for Perth Glory. Nervy moments for both teams. Moreton City just trying to hold on here to what would be one of their biggest victories in their history. And could well go through to host Melbourne Victory, who are about to enter injury time in their game against Spirit. Long ball here for Glory towards Williams, who brings it down. Free kick goes the way of Moreton City, though, and there's only 1 minute left. Was that the final chance for Perth Glory? It's been so incredible, just the number of cup sets that we've seen in the cup so far, and we are on the doorstep of one more. 30 seconds left. Foster will send this one long for Morton City, though. And it's at the wrong end of the pitch for Glory now. Morton City in possession, driving forward. Glory just have to send this one long, man. Glory have to just get this up the field. They have 10 seconds left of injury time. No one's in midfield to collect it. The red card has hurt Perth Glory tonight, that's for sure. The red card has affected Glory tonight. And that is full time. Morton City Excelsior have defeated Perth Glory in the round of 16. 3-2. Glory reduced to just 10 players. Just 10 players in the first half. City had to dig deep there. Morton City getting the job done in the end. 3-2. And we'll go through to host Melbourne Victory in the quarterfinals. Quite remarkable, man. Another cup set. Another A-League team out of the competition. Wow, dude. Glory. Again, you get a feel as though that red card has really affected things for them. Could have been a much different game, man. So, the attention now turns to the remaining two games. 1 minute left in injury time. Victory cruising through for a 4-0 win over NWS Spirit. And it remains 1-1 between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United. Seconds left in that game now as we speak. Collins sends it long for Heidelberg. Too long. Looks like that game is destined for extra time. And it is. The night goes on in Victoria. Oakleigh Cannons won. Heidelberg United won. The two teams can't be separated. Ellis with a late equaliser from the penalty spot for Heidelberg United. Fornaroli wriggling through for Victory. Can't find a teammate. Maybe one more effort. No, it won't be. Another impressive outing tonight for Melbourne Victory, who have scored 4 goals for 2 consecutive cup games here. And just simply outclassed NWS Spirit tonight, hey? Full time in that game. NWS Spirit, their cup run comes to an end at the hands of Melbourne Victory. 4-0 to Melbourne Victory, of course. 4 goals in the end. Nikos Vergos scoring on his debut tonight for Melbourne Victory. Too good in the end. So now our focus turns to the one remaining game. 1-1 between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United. It was shaping up as one of the most intriguing matchups in the round of 16. Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United. 1-1 at full time. 10 shots to Heidelberg United, 8 shots to Oakleigh Cannons. Heidelberg United with a bit more possession as well. Full time in the 2 other games involving A-League opposition. Spirit losing 4-0 to Melbourne Victory. Victory through to the quarterfinals, looking strong in the cup this year. Morton City Excelsior defeating Perth Glory 3-2. Quite remarkable indeed. It's been a truly remarkable Australia Cup so far this year, hasn't it? Looking at just all the upsets that we've seen. Mariners, Sydney knocked out in the round of 32. Obviously, Brisbane and Western knocked out in the playoffs as well. Melbourne City were knocked out by Perth Glory. I mean, a big conversation that we always have around the Australia Cup is, will we ever see an NBL team win the competition? And this year is looking more likely than ever that we will see an NPL team win the Australia Cup. Got South Melbourne. I mean, so many of these Victorian sides are looking so strong. South Melbourne are looking real good this year. Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg. I mean, either of those sides will go through. One of those sides will go through tonight, and they'll be backing themselves in this Australia Cup. That's for sure. So extra time about to get underway between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United. Who goes through from here? Penalties may be required after the half an hour. Huge round of 32 matches for both of these teams as well. I mean, it was so impressive seeing the way Oakleigh Cannons dismantled Sydney FC in the round of 32. 3-1. And the exact same scoreline as well for Heidelberg United, who got through against Central Coast Mariners, which was, as a Mariners fan, obviously super disappointing to see my team lose in that fashion. But Heidelberg United, I mean, the thing that really impressed me was just their defensive work rate. And here they come on the attack early in extra time. Ellis on the right wing. Heidelberg trying to get the shot away. Too many defenders in the road. Nick Olsen on the left. Chipping it in. Good header away there from Jacob Tratt. Few former A-League players in both teams tonight here. Former Western United defender Ben Collins playing at Heidelberg United. Former Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper Yaron Souza wearing the gloves for the Burgers tonight as well. And Oakleigh Cannons centre-back pairing two former A-League players in Jacob Tratt, Jordan Hall. Jordan Hall, formerly of Melbourne City. Jacob Tratt's played at a number of A-League clubs too, including Western United and Adelaide United, Sydney FC as well. No worries, Justin. Enjoy your night, man. Blinker says it would be great to see an NPL team have a crack at Asia. I mean, that would be epic, wouldn't it? An NPL team playing in the Asian Champions League 2, of course, as we know. The winner of the Australia Cup goes through to the Asian Champions League 2. So this year, it's Sydney FC after they won the Cup last year. And that would be pretty remarkable to see. Oh, good chance for Heidelberg. The header from right in front goes wide. Ellis on the attack once again. Went for goal himself. It was a narrow opportunity. What a chance, though, for Heidelberg, who were on the attack early on in this extra time period. Their header from basically point-blank range just flies wide. That's a golden opportunity for Heidelberg. Lesiotis, another one of these players who were formerly of an A-League club. Lesiotis spent time at both Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory. One of a handful of players to have played at both Melbourne clubs. Oh, they're in behind again. Heidelberg United. They are starting this extra time period so well. Can they find the strike? Dude, this defensive work from Oakleigh Cannons, they are holding on for dear life at the moment. Certainly a much more energy about Heidelberg United at the moment. 93 minutes of football played. 1-1 between the two sides from NPL Victoria. Both finished right next to each other in the ladder in NPL Victoria. Oakleigh Cannons in third, Heidelberg United fourth. So the question now becomes, is that will there be a breakthrough in this extra time period for either of these teams, or will we have to wait for a penalty shootout? Heidelberg United had to do the job in extra time when they defeated Central Coast Mariners in the round of 32. Oakleigh Cannons. Can they get themselves into this extra time period? Pretty extensive stoppage in play here due to an injury to one of Heidelberg's players. Finally getting the game back underway now. I can't believe we lost that, says Fad Lama. That's right. I mean, Glory, looking at the way they started the game too. I mean, it was such an impressive start. 2 goals in, 10 minutes for them. 2 really poor defensive mistakes from Moreton City Excelsior. And I thought from there, I was like, okay, this Glory side, they're going to be goals in this game. They're going to run away with this one. Such a strong early lead. And looked really dangerous in that first half. Moreton City able to pull one back. And then got that second. And then that red card, dude. I seriously think if Bulgaria hadn't been sent off for Glory, I don't know, man. I think that would have changed the game. You saw the way Perth Glory really just had to sit back, just had their chances really limited in that second half. Moreton City Excelsior just controlling things. I think if Bulgaria was still on the field, Perth Glory could have won that game in the end. Yeah, man. And the decision itself, I don't agree with. And it sounds like from you guys agree as well. It just didn't seem like the right decision. I mean, first yellow for sure, but a yellow for that second challenge just seemed really questionable. It wasn't worthy of a yellow card, to put it simply. It was late, but it wasn't. The contact wasn't all that heavy. It was it caught him on the ankle a little bit, but there was no studs involved. Obviously, it was just a coming together on a late challenge. I thought it was really harsh to get another yellow for that, man. I think if it hadn't been booked at all, it'd be really harsh to just even just give him one yellow card for that. His first yellow card, I should say, for a challenge like that. But look, an interesting test for Perth Glory, considering going down to 10 players, and it was fascinating seeing what they did. They didn't really back down because they did, still play with two players up top in both Faisal and Taggart to try and regain the lead early on in that second half. But I don't know, man. I mean, while there probably will be a lot of goals and excitement this year once again for Perth Glory, the thing that concerns me is just the lack of quality across the pitch. There's a lot of good young players there who I think are set for big seasons. I think Faisal, Bulgaria tonight, and Nathaniel Blair's another option as well. A lot of these attacking players for them set for huge seasons ahead, I think. And there was a lot. I mean, we were saying before, right? The Perth Glory. I mean, if they keep this up, they could be a finals team this year. But I'd be surprised. I think you look, and it's less against the fact that they don't have the quality players, and it's more so surrounding just the quality of other teams. I can't see this Perth Glory side in a 27 whatever it is round season in the A-League men's. I can't see them finishing. I mean, look, there's a chance they sneak into the bottom of the top 6. They sneak into one of those elimination final spots, maybe 5th or 6th. But I'd be really surprised if they were to get anywhere close to the top 4, to be honest. That's right. Hey, the effort was there. You're right. The effort was there for Glory. That's for sure. I mean, they have to look at themselves in a defensive sense too. Those 2 goals in the first half. I mean, that was before the red card, right? Like both goals that Glory conceded tonight were before that red card. And they had to do better there, especially that first goal. I mean, the way they slipped through too easily there, Moreton City. And then Ollie Sale, I mean, surely had to make the save there. Oakleigh Cannons, they're in the box here, trying to find a route through. Some tired legs on the pitch for both teams tonight here. Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United are into extra time here. 1-1. Full time in the other two games tonight. Melbourne Victory defeating NWS Spirit 4-0. Moreton City Excelsior grabbing a huge cup set win against Perth Glory. With obviously the legs tiring for teams on both, for players on both teams, you'd imagine the chances of a mistake arising at the back are quite high. Heavy challenge there from the back as well. The coaching staff from the Heidelberg bench weren't happy with that challenge from Jordan Hall, who picks up a booking. Jordan Hall, another one of these former A-League players, now at Oakleigh Cannons. Didn't really get too much game time at Melbourne City. He was there for a few years, but you really only ever saw him on the bench. Jordan Hall, unfortunately for him. Not getting a run at another A-League club, having to play his football at Oakleigh Cannons, where they've enjoyed a pretty good season overall this year in 2024, the Cannons, and would love to finish it off with a strong run in the cup here. Of course, we know the Oakleigh Cannons made it to the semi-finals in 2022, where they defeated Sydney FC in the quarterfinals that year. Actually, if I remember correctly, I think they defeated Macarthur in the semi. Macarthur defeated them in the semis. And it'll be the same matchup this time around, if I'm not mistaken. So there we go. Oakleigh Cannons, again, another familiar opponent in Macarthur FC, potentially. If they can get through, that is. Or will it be Heidelberg to take on the Bulls? So Macarthur, no, they do at least have a trip to Victoria, where they've had some mixed form across the cup and the league. Macarthur are one of these interesting teams heading into this season who might be one to watch. I mean, the way in the second half in that game against Newcastle on the weekend, the way that they just really sort of clicked it up a gear and were scoring goals at will. If they could do that regularly this season, they'll be a hard team to stop. And I think a lot of people, probably myself included, when I did my early ladder prediction, a lot of people called for Macarthur FC to be one of those teams to maybe fall out of the top six. But they seem to often find a way, to be in and around there, sort of mid-table. Obviously, they picked up the wooden spoon the year prior. But you look at the team, and there's too much quality there for them to finish in the bottom four, I think, for me. I think they will be a mid-table side this year, Macarthur. And whether it is, regardless of who they come up against, I think they will be favourites. Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United, obviously two quality sides. They've shown that this year. And they've both already overcome A-League opposition, but Macarthur is a different challenge. And the Bulls will be up for it. Cannons with some space down the left. Low cross, easily dealt with by Collins. Not a lot of clear-cut opportunities in this extra time period for either side so far. We've got just a couple minutes remaining before the changeover. And it might be a night that finishes off with a penalty shootout as Ellis tries to wriggle his way through, but Jacob Tratt's in the road. Jacob Tratt's another one of these defenders. I'm surprised isn't picked up by another A-League club. I think he's good enough to get another run at an A-League team. Adelaide are looking for defenders, that's for sure. I think the Reds need some more centre-backs. I think Jacob Tratt would be a handy pickup. Possible penalty shout there. There was a little push, but maybe a bit of an exaggerated fall there from the Heidelberg United player. So it's been a dramatic night in the Australia Cup tonight. Huge cup set. Moreton City Excelsior 3, Perth Glory 2, Melbourne Victory were far too strong for NWS Spirit. 4-0 in that game. Nikos Drogos, the new striker for Melbourne Victory, scoring his first goal for the side tonight. And it is extra time at the moment between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United. 1-1. The Cannons took the lead after they missed from the penalty spot in the first half. Heidelberg United pushing that whole second half and finally made the breakthrough at the end from the penalty spot themselves. Sean Ellis scoring. Olsen flicks it forward. Again, another former A-League player on the pitch tonight in Melbourne. Nick Olsen spent a year with Brisbane Roar a couple seasons ago. And that's a free kick there in the middle of the pitch for the Cannons. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this live watch along tonight. Coming close to 2.5 hours since these matches kicked off at around 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Seconds remaining in the first period of extra time. Again, not too many opportunities to report on. Cannons 1, Heidelberg 1. No added time by the looks of things. I mean, we did have one injury stoppage. Well, the board is being held aloft now. We do have the 1 minute added on. Cannons looking to replicate that semi-final run that they made just a couple seasons ago. Heidelberg United are in their way. Heidelberg United have made it to the quarterfinals on 4 separate occasions, 2015, 2017, 18, and last year. They also made it to the quarters. Decent cross in. Great cross in. And there's a bit of frustration from the Oakleigh Cannons players that like a leg wasn't stuck out there. The cross was delightful from long range. And that's half time in extra time. It remains 1-1, all locked up. We are 15 minutes away from a penalty shootout in Melbourne. 2 teams from NPL Victoria who are starting to establish a bit of a rivalry in the past 12 months. They met in the Doherty Cup final last year. 2 teams who have finished in the top 4 of NPL Victoria this year as well. Both defeated A-League opposition in the round of 32. And we'll have a quick drinks break before heading out for the second period. While we wait, let's have a little bit of a discussion surrounding the... Well, let's do a full recap of the round of 16 as it wraps up now. This is the final game remaining in the round of 16. Plenty of drama over the past week. Of course, we have seen so far. Let's have a look. One big cup set tonight. Perth Glory being knocked out by Moreton City Excelsior. Started on the weekend. Newcastle Jets losing out 3-4. MacArthur. That was an absolutely dramatic game. We were live for that game as well. Grozos and Nada scoring in the first half. Aquilina grabbing the only one for Newcastle in the second period. Jaman with a double. Yakalish with a double. An incredible goal from Marin Yakalish in that second half. And Bulls were simply too strong in the end. Another game on Sunday that we saw from the round of 16. South Melbourne defeated Brisbane. That's Olympic FC, that is. 3-2. These are results here coming from Google. Lions FC lost out last night. West Sydney Wanderers were too strong for them. 4-0 there to Western Sydney. Hume City defeated FC Melbourne Serbia 1-0. Olympic Kingsway losing 2-3 as they hosted Adelaide United. So A-League teams getting through there. So we had only one cup set in the round of 16. And of course, Melbourne Victory tonight also cruising through to the next phase. 4-0 against NWS Spirit. So we've already got some of the lineups here, as you can see, for the quarterfinals. Macarthur SC, well, they won't be the home team because they'll be playing one of these teams tonight, either Oakleigh Cannons or Heidelberg United. So it'll be an away day for the Bulls to Victoria. Obviously, Melbourne Victory will be the away team for this fixture as well. So Moreton City Excelsior. Wow, what a test to host Melbourne Victory. Moreton City Excelsior overcoming Perth Glory tonight, 3-2. They're going to need to be at the absolute best to get through against Melbourne Victory, who look really up for it this year. Second half of extra time here is underway between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United. Adelaide United host West Sydney Wanderers in the quarterfinals as well, as a shot comes in. No power on that one, though. Easy save for Souza. Adelaide and Wanderers, that's got to be the one to watch in the quarterfinals. Two A-League teams coming up against each other there. Two teams who feel like they're sort of at a similar level where maybe still need to make a handful more signings. Adelaide maybe need to make some more defensive moves, whereas West Sydney Wanderers, there's probably a couple of areas of the pitch that they'd like to recruit in, but both teams, again, with solid teams at the moment. Hume City, South Melbourne. We've got an all-Victorian matchup once again. It's the Victorian sides who have just been so impressive in this Australia Cup this year, hey? And that'll be a really fascinating matchup. Hume City scored 6 against Darwin in the round of 32. Just got a narrow 1-0 victory against FC Melbourne, Serbia last night in their round of 16. So one of those teams, either Hume City or South Melbourne, will be going through to the semi-finals, and they will take on, it'll be either Macarthur SC or one of these teams tonight, Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United. So as a serious chance that an NPL Victoria side goes through to the final of the Australia Cup this year. There's a serious chance. It's really Macarthur SC who's in the way. It's Macarthur SC who's in the way, but there's the other three teams on that side of the bracket are all from NPL Victoria. It's pretty incredible. And then the semi-final will be either Adelaide or Wanderers to take on either Melbourne Victory or Moreton City. That'll be the other semi-final. Phil, I mean, if I had to give you an early prediction, I think I'd probably back Wanderers. They've been a little bit more convincing so far in the Cup. I know they'll probably be the away team in that matchup, but Adelaide, it's been narrow. The victories have been narrow, 3-2 both times in the Cup this year. Melbourne Victory, you surely got to back them to get through against Moreton City Excelsior. I think they'll be too strong. So that could be a Wanderers Victory Australia Cup semi-final, that's a mouth-watering matchup for sure. That's a really intriguing matchup. And then from here, look, I think Macarthur do get through to the semis. Again, Heidelberg or Oakleigh, whoever it is, will provide tough opposition. But I think the Bulls will get through. They've looked good this year. I was impressed with their attack against Newcastle on the weekend. I think they'll have too much in the end. And then I'd probably back South Melbourne to get through over Hume City. So if those predictions ring true, be South Melbourne hosting Macarthur SC in a semi. Tell you what, that one could easily go the way of South Melbourne. I think there's a real good energy around South Melbourne this year. Top of the NPL Victoria. They're set to make a big run here in the Cup as well. Look, obviously, don't write off Hume City. They'll provide a great test for South Melbourne, but I think South Melbourne have a great chance to get through. Tell you what, from there, it's shaping up. I'm not getting carried away here, but it is shaping up for a potential Australia Cup final to be played between Melbourne Victory and South Melbourne, which would just be crazy, wouldn't it? I mean, Melbourne Victory, one of the biggest clubs in the A-League, coming up against South Melbourne, one of the biggest clubs in NPL Victoria. As a shot comes in from outside the box for Cannons. Well, the Oakleigh Cannons have started this second half of extra time really brightly. They're looking for this winner. Just inside the box. There's too much height on that shot. It will be a corner, though, for the Cannons as they chase this. That's right, Ivan. So South versus Victory Dream final still on the cards. No love lost between these two since 2005. It would be an incredible match. Hey, South Melbourne Victory, shaping up to be a truly exciting final matchup. Of course, there's only been one previous occasion that a team from outside the A-League has made it to the final. That was Sydney United 58, who met MacArthur FC in 2022. Tell you what, this year is looking pretty likely for another team to crack the final from the NPL. So we've got, regardless of how this game finishes, Oakleigh Heidelberg United with 10 minutes to go in extra time. There's going to be 3 teams from Victoria, 3 teams from NPL Victoria, I should say. 3 teams from NPL Victoria in the quarters. Just the 1 team from NPL Queensland. And that's it. That's it. All of the NPL New South Wales teams have been knocked out already. All the teams from WA, from SA have been knocked out as well. So it's Victoria. We had a question earlier tonight where we're discussing which NPL, which state has the strongest league. And it's probably fair to say at the moment is Victoria. You just look at the representation that they have in the Australia Cup this year, and it's it's got to be NPL Victoria. They've been so impressive this year, especially in the Australia Cup, and I'm sure there's plenty of history awaiting these sides in the Australia Cup. Maybe one of them to make a big run. You get the sense that this might be destined for penalties. These teams have been so evenly matched. It's interesting too. The first period of extra time was really all Heidelberg United. But in the second period of extra time, Oakleigh Cannons have really been on the front foot, haven't they? 112 minutes of football played, 1-1. As you can see here, Jordan Hall got the goal for Cannons in the 55th minute. Sean Ellis from the penalty in the 88th minute to keep the game alive for the Burgers. Cannons with a really good spell of possession. Can they manufacture an opportunity, though? Can they find a way through? Heidelberg United. It's almost like they just don't have the energy. They don't have the legs to get an attack going. You've got a player cramping up on the left-hand side now. Unable to play on. They've gone to the floor. 10 shots for the Cannons. 14 for Heidelberg United, who were really pushing in that second half to find that equaliser. Game is going to have to be halted for a moment here. Might recognise plenty of familiar names here if you're an A-League fan. Jacob Tratt, Jordan Hall, 2 former A-League players there at centre-back for Oakleigh Cannons. Heidelberg United and a number of former A-League players on their books as well. Adrian Zara was at Perth Glory, I believe, many years ago. Yaron Souza was involved in Central Coast Mariners' championship winning squad from 2013. Sorry, 2023. 2013, Yaron Souza would have been barely a teenager at that point. I'm pretty sure. Kane Shepherd spent some time at Newcastle Jets, as well as Western United, I'm pretty sure. Leslie Otis, as we mentioned earlier, former Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City player. Ben Collins spent some time at Western United. Nick Olsen is on the field now. He a couple of years ago was at Brisbane Roar. Couple players cramping up now. Couple Heidelberg players. don't have long to go. Just over 5 minutes. Yokokawa having to be helped off the field. Heidelberg making that one final change. It's been a big season for these teams. Obviously, the NPL Victoria coming towards the end. They're in their final series. Grand final coming up in a few weeks' time. Theodoropoulos on late for the last few minutes here. And this is an interesting time here for these players, isn't it? I mean, with 5 minutes to go, it's starting to creep up in the minds of these players, and I'm sure the coaching staff as well. Penalty shootout. It's really interesting, actually. I think we've only had the one penalty shootout in the cup so far this year, haven't we? In the final rounds. That was between FC Melbourne Serbia and Modbury Jets in the round of 32, which saw FC Melbourne Serbia come out on top. I don't think there hasn't been another penalty shootout, has there? There's only been the one, which is kind of surprising. We usually see a few more. Just the one penalty shootout, and we are just a few minutes away from yet another penalty shootout in the Australia Cup. We've had some pretty dramatic penalty shootouts in the Australia Cup. I remember I was at Mariners Sydney FC in the round of 32 last year, 2023, down in Wollongong. You might remember that one went to like 20 penalties. I think Sydney won something like 10-9 or something like that. Throw in for Heidelberg. Long throw, headed away. Still on in a decent area, though. Ellis picks it up. Looking for a cross, but good defensive work here from Oakleigh Cannons to not allow Heidelberg much time on the ball. What a way to finish off what has been a crazy night in the Australia Cup if we do get this penalty shootout. Earlier tonight, Melbourne Victory defeating NWS Spirit 4-0. Full time between Moreton City Excelsior and Perth Glory 3-2. 3-2 to Moreton City Excelsior. Of course, Perth Glory did have a player sent off in the first half, which certainly affected things for them. Nick Olsen does well there to avoid a corner. Pass accuracy on the broadcast pretty even to 82.8% for Heidelberg, 80.6% for the Cannons. Nice run down the left-hand side here. There's a potential opening. Oh, that's a good block. Jacob Tratt. Well, our focus tonight has been on the two other games, the two A-League teams in action. But since we've tuned into this extra time period, Jacob Tratt has been on the end of everything. Oakleigh Cannons so strong at the back. And as I was talking about a few moments ago, I mean, if you're an A-League team looking for a defender who has decent A-League experience, you got to look at Jacob Tratt. That's right, Blinkus. Blinkus says here, Mariners Sydney penalty shootout was the day after the Matildas. Yes, I remember that. Hey, of course. Two crazy penalty shootouts right next to each other. Obviously, the Matildas France penalty shootout, just an absolute roller coaster of emotions. I remember we did a live watch along for that one, and took a while to recover from that one, that's for sure. And it took a while to recover from watching my Mariners lose in the end on a crazy marathon of a penalty shootout against Sydney FC in Wollongong last year. There you go. You remember well there, Blinkers. 1 minute left. Probably have a couple minutes added on. Is there a goal coming late on here? Rolls out for a goal kick. This dude, I tell you what, this is going to a penalty shootout for sure. We are absolutely destined for pens. Aaron Souza with the ball. He's taking his time with his goal kick. Wow, love that. Ivan says, my uncle played for Heidelberg through the 80s. Grandparents still live walking distance from the stadium. That's the cool thing about a lot of these teams. Obviously, have such a rich history, don't they? In Victoria and in all over the country. I was going to say New South Wales, in Sydney and everything. Obviously, many of the A-League teams, very new clubs, founded in the last couple of decades. But it's great seeing the rich history that the Australian football scene does have. And a lot of these teams from around the whole country with great history to them. 2 minutes of added time here, everyone. 2 minutes left for a last gasp winner. 2 NPL Victoria rivals meeting in the round of 16 here. Who will go through to face MacArthur FC? 1-1. Two teams who have been so evenly matched this whole game. Stats are looking pretty even too, man. There hasn't been much to split them. Heidelberg send it long. It's going to sail out of play, though. 1 minute of added time has ticked by. 1 minute left, and it's Oakleigh Cannons who are in possession. Rowan can't find a teammate. Take 2. 45 seconds left. 45 seconds left for the Cannons here. If they want to launch an attack. Unable to find a way forward. "30 seconds remaining. It's going to take a real piece of inspiration here. Down the left, here come Cannons. The cross comes in. Yaron Souza claims it. Just a bit too close to the keeper, that delivery. There were 3 players queuing up for the Oakleigh Cannons. Yaron Souza, a couple of years of experience at Central Coast Mariners. Didn't get too much game time, unfortunately. Did play in an Australia Cup fixture against Wollongong Wolves, from memory, in 2021. And that's full time. In extra time, we are destined for a penalty shootout. Here we go. A penalty shootout between Oakleigh Cannons and Heidelberg United to decide who will go through to the quarterfinals to play A-League team, MacArthur FC. Stats are looking pretty even. Heidelberg did have more shots in the end, according to the broadcast. 15 shots to Heidelberg, 11 for Cannons. Possession was pretty even too, man. Not much to match these teams, hey? Not much to split them, I should say. So we are destined for a penalty shootout here. Anyone's game, of course. Here we go. Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United. 2 teams who, I mean, considering what they did in the round of 32, they'll be so confident that they can make, both these teams can make a solid run in the Cup. Oakleigh Cannons 3-1 against Sydney FC was so impressive, man. The way they dismantled the Sky Blues in that game. Heidelberg United was so strong in defense as they defeated Central Coast Mariners 3-1 in the round of 32. Coin toss is happening as we speak. We love a penalty shootout, man. We love a penalty shootout in our live watch-alongs. It's been a big mega watch-along. Should take us close to 3 hours here. Full time in the other games, of course. They didn't go to extra time. Melbourne Victory defeated NWS Spirit 4-0. Moreton City Excelsior. Big cup set win over Perth Glory 3-2. And all the focus now for the final game in the round of 16 falls on the home of Matildas in Victoria, Melbourne. And now it's anyone's game from here. Penalty shootout. So you wonder just how much, planning and time is spent on the training grounds preparing for these scenarios. The penalties, obviously, it's in the mind of a lot of these players in knockout competitions. Again, quite incredible that this is only the second penalty shootout we've got in the final rounds of the Australia Cup this year. FC Melbourne Serbia defeated Modbury Jets on penalties in the round of 32. And this is the second penalty shootout that we've had this year in the final rounds. Both teams lining up on the halfway line. Got some former A-League players on both sides here. You wonder if they'll be called up here with their experience in big moments. Yaron Souza, goalkeeper for Heidelberg United, former Central Coast Mariner. Big test for him here. Who's going to be a hero? Who is going to step up for their team? Yaron Souza in goals for Heidelberg United. And it is Nick Feely who's in goals for Oakleigh Cannons. Nick Feely, who was on the books at Perth Glory a few years back. Two former A-League keepers here. So Yaron Souza is in goals first. Chance here for the Cannons to take an early lead in the shootout. Good penalty first up. Wow, dude. The confidence in that strike. Yaron Souza had no chance, and it's the Cannons who strike first in the shootout. I mean, there's no way Souza's getting to that. I mean, it was a risky penalty, obviously, when you go that high and that powerful. So Oakleigh Cannons goalkeeper here is Nick Feely. Experienced goalkeeper, spent time at Lions FC, at A-League team Perth Glory as well. And it's Ben Collins here. Benjamin Collins, former Western United defender. Hits the crossbar and misses. Shocking start for Heidelberg United in the shootout. The former A-League defender smashes it against the crossbar. Incredible. Both penalties. The first two penalties. Both with power and going high. Works out for the Oakleigh Cannons. But for Ben Collins and Heidelberg United, just a little bit too much height on it. Just a touch lower, and you can get that on the underside of the crossbar and in. But here come Cannons with a chance to make it 2-0. And it's in. Rolled in coolly. That is a very calmly taken penalty. And this is a huge, huge early advantage for Oakleigh Cannons in the shootout here. Oakleigh 2. Heidelberg United 0 as they step up for their second pen. The winner of this game going through to take on Macarthur FC, A-League opposition. Macarthur FC winners of the Cup in 2022. Oakleigh Cannons made it to the semi-finals in that year as well in 2022, where they were knocked out by Macarthur. Another opportunity here in the penalty spot. Heidelberg United get on the board. It's 2-1. That's a crucial penalty there. Crucial goal. 2-1. Cannons still have the lead. Tell you what, Feely went the right way too. Nick Feely went the right way. but too much power on the penalty. Wasn't being saved. Heidelberg United, they've qualified for the quarterfinals on 4 occasions in the cup already. 2015, 2017, 18 and 2023. And Cannons make it 3. They are yet to miss after 3 penalties. Yaron Souza unable to get to them. Again, a really, really good penalty. Not too high, not too low. Sent hard and wide to the left. Next up, it's pin for Heidelberg. Again, so important that they score here. That early miss has put so much pressure on Heidelberg, hasn't it? Surely got to score here. Pin. Oh, he hits the crossbar as well. Mirroring the strike of Benjamin Collins. Heidelberg United are down 3-1 in the shootout. And the equation is simple now. If Oakleigh can score, they go through to the quarterfinals once more. And the dream ends for Heidelberg. It's a climactic end, a dramatic end to what has been a massive night in the Australia Cup. Cup sets, big score lines, a penalty shootout. Oakleigh Cannons can win it here if they score. Oh, and it's converted. Oakleigh Cannons are going through 4-1 in the shootout. Heidelberg United incredibly smashing it against the crossbar twice in this penalty shootout. Oakleigh Cannons did not miss. Cool from the penalty spot. And they will go through to host MacArthur SC for a rematch of the semi-final from 2022. Congratulations to Oakleigh Cannons. That wraps up our Australia Cup live stream tonight. Oakleigh Cannons go through 4-1 on the penalty shootout against Heidelberg United. 1-1 after full time. Yeah, after extra time as well. 4-0 Melbourne Victory defeat NWS Spirit, and Morton City Excelsior with a dramatic 3-2 win against A-League team Perth Glory. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This has been a truly entertaining night of Australia Cup football. The quarterfinals are coming up in a few weeks' time. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.